Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. I got a new coffee. Pumpkin latte. And something else. This one's a limited edition. Pumpkin spice latte with something else. I don't know how I feel about it. That was my first sip. But I did find my cookie butter creamer. So I was happy about that. I don't even like cream in coffee. I just need like a taste. What is that? All right, let me pick the cards. Good morning. I think I did good this morning. What time is it? I was up at like 5:15. I crawled out of bed 5:30. Told myself to give myself a half hour, but it's 5:52. But I still do good. Typically, I jump on. All right. What am I getting? Oh, you know what actually woke me up, guys? Is peanut butter. Let me get some water in the squirt bottle. I'll give you some peanut butter. I think bumped into his bells, and then I was like, who's on my side table? Because those bells are usually on my lamp, but I switched them onto my other lamp, so then I figured out. I looked up and no one was on my table, and then I was like, oh yeah, he's got a toy right next to it that he must have been bumping into, because he wasn't like playing with them, he was bumping into them. Oh yeah, I wanted to get my new feather. I found yesterday when we were putting, I actually found it right when we put the snappers down. Mia actually saw it before I did, because my eyes are jack shit. I don't know what I did with it. Really, Courtney? There it is. Oh, I thought it had a blue tint. It's actually a little gray. But when I was looking at images of blue jays, I thought it was blue, but this is gray. I think it had gray. Get out of there. Max, get. No, yucky water. Sorry, dude. I gotta change it. Motherfucker. That's what I didn't want to do. fucked it up. But no, I do see a tint of blue in there, believe it or not. But some of the blue jay feathers are actually 555. Images of blue jay feathers. I think that's got a hint of blue in the light. It certainly did. I think it does. What did I look up? It was a good website. Almost positive it's a blue jay. That goes by age. That's not what I'm looking for. Oh, I think I was looking up blue feathers, but it's not all blue. But I did look up just blue jay feathers too. Yeah, see, that kind of looks like it too. And the tint of blue is probably going to start coming out. It does have a blue glare, but this is definitely more gray. All right, you're probably caught. Get your fucking reading already. But I'm almost positive it's a blue jay feather, which talks about, good news on the way, people coming in at 11, caring, bring peace, messengers. So it's funny because that song, How Unusual It Is to Be Loved by You. And it's funny, it just said unusual bluebird feather. I'd say. Looks like a whole fucking wing. I don't know what we're looking at there. All right. But I know somebody else mentioned that they've been finding feathers. And then Kai's feather is in that jar under here. I probably should have put it under the table. And then finally took that one out of the car. This one out of the car. No, this one out of the car. And then we came across that one last night. And sacred tribes really use blue jay feathers for ceremonies. They hold them in high regards, which is new for me. New info for me. All right, I'm just trying to pick what decks I want to use. It's unusual to be loved by you. Well, I haven't really used a lot of these yet when I pulled them out. And just use these briefly. I feel like those are too, kind of happy-go-lucky. I think I'm looking for depiction, but I'm not positive. Talk about a resolution. I'm getting resolution now. I actually woke up with that one. All right. And I just was deciding which one to go with. And I'm getting pulled to the hands right there. That was in members, I think. But I'm like, I just got stealth mode again. And I don't know if strength is at the bottom of the deck. No. Maybe something I picked up here. No. All right. That's not the first time stealth modes come out. So. Okay. So, how you feel about them, how they feel about you. And I usually do it the other way around. Or just like you, them, and messages. But let's do feelings because all that energy came through the other day. Actually, it's probably just yesterday. And I don't know if I'm going to have to switch my coffee. I knew I should have went with the vanilla latte. But I've never had a vanilla latte. But I love caramel lattes. Maybe there's something with coffee here. And I did notice this one was 40% plant-based. And I didn't know that until recently. I'm like, oh, is the other one I just bought the same brand plant-based? It's not, though. But this is. It's probably because it's pumpkin in it. Now, I'm not big on pumpkin pie. I just like pumpkin coffee. And really only the Dunkin' Donuts one. This is pumpkin spice. Oh, dear Lord, Court, stop talking about the fucking pumpkin. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. All right, let's do this, Brutus. How are you, Mary? All right, how you feel about them? How you feel about them? Page of Fire. I see that as positive. Knight of Earth. They're very curious as of right now. I'm liking the peak of yellow in the background there. Hello from Austria. Hello. I instantly was like, I think that's in my DNA. Along with Max. Come on, let me get you fresh water. Sorry, guys. Along with, I know I'm Swedish and Norwegian, but I want to say there's a little bit of Austrian from my dad's side. My mom's Italian. Hi, peanut butter. Butter, where'd you go? Hi, you want some num-nums? Want some num-nums? There you go, Max. Come here. Good. Getting fresh water. Okay. don't know why he insists on drinking from the tortoise's bowls. Telling you, he's an odd one. Mr. Grinch. All right. Page of Fire, Knight of Earth, Judgment. I was saying I like the yellow, and then Australia. I should have looked a little closer. Well, welcome. I almost thought about moving there. I heard you guys are real nice to Tauruses, or like Tauruses. Tourist. And you're very welcoming for those who like move there. I've met a couple from Australia. So there could be something with Australia here, or Austria too, to be quite honest with you. You wouldn't think so, but the couple was telling me they were here on vacation, and me and Marsh, what were we doing? I don't know if we were snowmobile. No, it was winter. We go up there in the winter with the kids sometimes, but we took a girls' trip for the weekend. We just wanted to get away to the mountains. And they were like, well, it's winter for us. Or no, it was summer for them. And then they explained to me that Australia, like, one side's cold, one side's hot at different times. In Australia. I've never heard of such a thing. Because you have Queensland? No, I don't even know if that's a real thing there. Maybe. But if you know what I'm talking about, if you can clarify for everybody. Because we were like, really? But they wanted snow. And to us, we're New Englanders, so we're like, why would you want to come to the snow? But that's like people that want to go to, I almost said Poland, but like the Arctic, we are in the southern hemisphere. Christmas is summer. Yeah, okay, so does it get really hot? Because I think they were escaping the heat or the cold, but they came to cold. But I don't think you guys get snow. Or maybe you do. I don't know. Good morning. I just thought it was like, we didn't know that about Australia. Like, New Hampshire's just one temperature. I mean, it can rain and not rain, or you know what I mean? A little colder in the mountains, but you get my drift. It's not like winter and then summer. But that's how big Australia is. Good morning. I almost felt like picking these cards up and starting over. So that I'm not going to, but that could be a message for you guys starting over. So I'm just going to start the read at 20 minutes and talk for you guys for 1 minute. Yeah, so it doesn't really snow. I know they were excited to get to see the snow or like have fun in the snow. And if they got snow, it wasn't as much snow. So we just don't see many people, like many tourists, like that would, I keep saying it could be something about Southern because I'm like, but in New Hampshire like that they're usually a few hours away, or you don't typically get somebody from Australia that says, okay, I want to go to New Hampshire. So we sat and chatted, and I want to say they were drinking Guinness, and I don't know why I would remember that. Maybe they just preferred Guinness, but I feel like I remember that. But we sat there and just drank with them for hours and had a conversation. It was great. We were just going to have a drink and pick up our salads, and we ended up staying for hours. They were a really nice couple. Hi, Butter. Good morning, Butter. I know you're gonna need a paper towel. You're gonna need a paper towel. There you go. Up. Yeah, there you go. Rocking and a rolling, beeping and a bobbing, bobbering, bop, 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 bobbering. Good morning. I haven't seen you yet. You just flew right out. Can I have a kiss? Mwah. Why are you running from me? Kisses. Mwah. Thank you. Do you want your num-nums before we start the reading? Is that why you came over? You ready now? All right. Ooh, yes. One of my plant lights is on. It's going to get easier for me to see. Here you go, num-nums. Yeah. You know what? I'll put your num-nums. I'm going to put your num-nums right in here, okay? That way Max doesn't bother you. Get your num-nums here. I put them right in there, okay? Num-nums. You can have breakfast. Have some water. Where did I put your water? I don't know where I put your water. Oh, it's in here. I'm going to get you fresh water. All right. Here you go. Fresh water. You get your num-nums. Here you go. Good boy. Good boy. What? What? Give me a kiss. Get your num-nums. Yeah. I think he thought I was putting him back in the cage, and he was like, what the fuck? I don't even like calling it a cage. It's his home. The only time he literally goes in there is to sleep. I want him to think it's a fun place, you know? Safe place. So I'm going to have to do a little more research with him. Maybe if I put like greenery around it and he feels like he's hiding. All right. So I guess this is going to start at 24. Good morning. There's an old imprint in this house for sure. Did you just move? This is the past for you. But I will cleanse again. Yeah? Never looked at it like that. Because this person doesn't need to be in your life, and it doesn't have to be intimate, which everyone just kind of jumps the gun and goes there, or they think about somebody they miss, or I wonder if this person's doing okay, or, you know, so, but this seems bigger than that. It could be if the person's no longer in the house, because we know Meg's story, it could be, but I still feel like it's big, like, do I move? Do I not? Do I buy new furniture? Do I not? Do I finally say goodbye and don't look back? Because this is something that's here and it's judgment. So that's a big deal too, though. You know, it could be based on karma, past life, certain stuff like this. I got to keep a notebook next to me for my ideas, because now that's pulling me in a different direction. I don't think I have to get out. There's one right here somewhere. Alright. Oh, look at that. And it's a hummingbird. I'm not big on birds. I mean, I love birds, but I don't collect birds. I don't have bird statues or figurines. Well, that's not true. I have one or two somewhere, only because they're my mother's. Alright, this is my work notebook. And I want to keep them all together. I think it's time for me to get new notebooks. But Mia and I did come across two. They're like, oh, you never wrote in this. I think it's these two. I got two of the same ones because I actually wanted to. I want to say I had three. I wanted to give them to the kids. Be brave with your life. Okay, I wrote in all of them. Oh, this is when I was trying to figure out the lottery by numerology to see if certain coincidences were matching up. No such thing as coincidences, but I wanted to see if there was like the mathematical stuff behind it. And I'm so sorry, guys. I do need this notebook because I've been reading cards differently lately, and I feel like I should make a deck with those messages because Spirit's literally having me. It's happened 3 times already. I think these are all blank. Yep, they are. Because I think Mia wanted a notebook and a small one. So maybe this is, you're writing a new chapter, guys. This got to be a message because I feel like I was disrupted so many times. But you know me, when I try not for there to be disruptions, there's disruptions. So it is what it is. And I want to say so far they showed me the 7 of Pence differently, 5 of Cups, 5 of Swords. And now I have a couple more things for Judgment that I wouldn't think it would be. But I feel like I need to keep it to myself. And it's not that I'm keeping something from you guys. It's just, I guess it's just time. All my other ideas. And I wanted to do it about energy. But for those who don't know, I'm going to do a deck. And I plan on doing a couple different kinds. But this one I feel like I need to get to with going into the 4-dimension. Already in the 4-dimension. Because they're going to be different, unique. People are not going to see the cards that way. Wow, I never looked at a card that way. Or, you know what I mean? So, and that's what's going to help right now is seeing things differently. And my hope is that a lot of people purchase them. And it's not about money. It's not about subscribers. It's the way people read tarot anymore. It's conditioned. You might be like, oh, you have a great reader and this and that. But if you have a great reader, it's more about the stuff you talk about, chat. Like I always made it personal with you guys, this type of stuff. But and then I learned like how the gypsies did it with those cards up there that I've used on members. Like they were really like it had to have been like their life work, because it's like going to school. It's like going to get like a degree in something, you know, and they don't teach you to read how the gypsies read. And the spirit's telling me it's kind of like how they originally read. When they started using it for personal stuff besides energy. But only so it was good for you, not so only for it to help you, not for you to like, how do they feel? How do you feel? You know, it's not like that. But because of the way the energy has been, and we're getting this massive surge, and some of it looks like depression or something karmic, I wanted to see what I could pick up on in this read. So we can continue now. Yeah, there's always going to be readers and this and that. You think like I don't know. I've just been saying stuff over a month now for you guys, in the sense of I'm not an average reader. It's not just about tarot. Like tarot gives me the messages, and you know, I've had people comment and say like, you shouldn't be talking about other stuff, you know, like, oh, you do too much talking and your channel's around about tarot, and it's like, no, bitch. It's not, though. You think it is, but it's not. So these only guide me to give you messages. From day one, I was stuck talking about my past experiences. That's not something I switched up over the years. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it is what it is. And I had a strong sense not to read those books. And sometimes I thought that was frustrating. But you should always go with your gut. And that's how I learned too. I never started with the Celtic cross. I never did any of that shit. And which I think was more of a struggle for me, and it was intentional, because same cards would be coming out, like Divine Protection would come out all the time, or Worth Waiting For, and I used to want to fucking throw the deck. You know, and I think going through that type of struggle in the midst of trying to figure out my cards made me the reader I am. You know, but, well, every reader, psychic has their own gift and style. Everyone that comes to this planet has that. It's just a matter if you welcome it and work with it. But they still read simply in basic, and it's still like the 5 of Wands. There could be drama, there could be conflict, you know. Like, I want to switch it up in the sense of when all the other cards come out surrounding it, it kind of tells you a story. I started watching you in 2019, and that brought me to an awakening with my abilities. Well, there you go. You did good. You're very welcome. I know, I used to come across psychics with certain people that were drawn, and they're like, do you know how many people you help? And they didn't even know I was a tarot reader. And I just didn't get it for the longest time. And then I learned I'm helping people above too before they come down. And I never looked at it. It took me a long time to figure that one out too. So I didn't know that we read as a collective, and I didn't know those people from other galaxies like watching us read tarot. Like, we're actually teaching people who choose to be like reincarnated. Like, I don't think we remember watching stuff like this before we come down, but we're up there studying for a little while before we come back down. It was the shaman deck for you. I get pulled to that too. And that was the one deck I have a hard time working with. Remember when I used to try to read that? I used to like giggle. I couldn't get through it. It was like the oddest vibe. And now it's different. But like, I'll never forget working with that deck. I mean, I finally gave up until like years and years and years later. But that deck is pretty cool. Bring it back. Well, it is actually right here. It's with my oracles, and I'm like, oh, I haven't read from that for a while or that, but I'm going to start my oracles in members, and you're in members. All right. Let's do this, Brutus. All right. 36-minute start. Peanut butter is so funny. Oh my God, see, I won't start. So that's a message for you guys. I put this over my cards for at night so you can't walk all over them and poop, because we got to really nail down that potty training. And now that he understands me with little commands, the odds are more in my favor, getting him to poop in little boxes, which is key when you have a bird. Kai, I was like, oh, no big deal. He was good about his cage. It was a parrot. It was a big enough shit. It wasn't like sloppy. He's a wild bird. At first, he only pooped after he ate, and now he's like, poop, 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 poop. Huh. And I just got pulled to the swans. Did you like when I said that? Poop, 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 poop. Yeah? Is that interesting? You should see him just staring at me, guys. He's like, huh? Poop, 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 poop. Yeah? You find that interesting? That's cute. You're so cute, Butter. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Kiss. Can you give Mama a kiss? All right, Butter. I'm going to move you because I'm going to stop this read. Oh, now you want to give me a kiss? Now you want to give me a kiss? Where's the other one? I want to see if I can find like plastic little things for him to play with, to move around. Oh, you just had to shit on the table, huh? Look at, wee! You just had to do poo-poo, huh? Do not walk into that. I'm over that situation. He was doing good, and then I started slacking with it because he wasn't pooping everywhere. And now I'm like, nope, we're not doing that. Because there's like 5 little poops in the bird cage. I mean, in the tortoise enclosure. All my animals are clean and sanitary, but I'm not doing that. No, thank you. And Sheldon's been shitting on the floor more lately than he ever has, and I think it's because he's sharing a cage with Moses. But they still follow each other. They still have a blast together. But I think it's like a territorial thing. So like Max, Sheldon, and Peanut Butter are all fighting for territory right now. It's the only thing I can think of. Because for like 2 weeks now, it's been chaos in them being territorial. So I was like, what is that? Did you guys hear that? When I was reading you guys yesterday, and I was like, did you hear that weird like moan or growl or whatever? Did anybody pick up on that? Oh my God. I actually think that's my stomach. Wow, my stomach never makes noises. I'm thinking it might be that pumpkin latte I'm not too crazy about right now. Oh, no, it's not my stomach. It's coming from over here. Oh, that makes me feel so much better. One of the tortoises are waking up. And it's been cold lately, so you know Sheldon, he loves to hibernate. So there's other messages within these messages, guys, but let's get back to the cards. We gotta hear it again. I think that's my stomach. But then Sheldon makes a noise. That's so weird. I don't know what it is. You guys... Nope, that's my stomach as soon as I lean up. Can you guys hear that? Now it's not going to do it when I move. Okay, it's got to be the pumpkin latte, I guess. I don't know. But I never pick up on shit like that, so it means something. And when I was talking about a shit, I did get pulled to swans. And I got all that sidetracked with the yellow. It's almost like you're optimistic. Oh, and then I started talking about like Meg, and then I had to get my notebook. So you might want to write things down, jot things down. But as I was saying, like, this would be something that can seem exciting. It's the Page of Fire, so it's a good sign. And then you have the Knight of Earth. So this is talking about, again, are you gonna... I'm hearing invest. This is an investment, but it's like a treasure. So it could be a gift. And some of you, it could be a white feather that speaks about, you know, peace and tranquility, but it's also like messengers from angels and all sorts of stuff. I only know that because I was looking up the feather last night. But I see a rune right there. You'd think it's a star, but it's way up in this corner. That actually looks like a rune, one of my runes, instead of the little stars. And we were talking about Australian weather changes, and whoa, they're in ice. Swans don't live in icy places. And there's 6 of them. So yeah, this is about depiction. So yeah, whatever this is a big deal. And again, it could be a move, you know, finally letting go of energy, finally dating somebody new, finally, you know, a new career, a new opportunity, like whatever it is. It doesn't seem, I just almost heard like iffy, but this doesn't seem iffy. So this would tell me like your energy is going to shift to this. And again, this could be family, this could be your children, this could be a lover, this could be a best friend, this could be somebody who's no longer in your life, and it could be them, but this feels like you. I am doing you and them. And again, that them they could be sad, they could be happy, it could be a friend, it could be an ex, it could be a family member. So clearly Spirit's stressing that, and here we go again with like repeating myself just in a different way or in a different order, which I've been finding a very extremely exhausting. But I'm not mad. But it's like she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 keys around her wrist, like she can open every treasure box. So this could be an awakening, even though these are not awakening cards, but Meg also said she's got a awakening on my channel. So that's pretty positive if I can get people to awaken through cards and messages. That's a good sign for me. And again, like I used to get like so much praise. Like you changed my life, and that's just it. Like without me really realizing what I was doing, none of it was intentional. So I think that's a message here too. Like keep flowing, keep shining, keep something, knowing you can always count on me for sure. That's what friends are for good times, for bad times. I'll be by your side forevermore. I don't think it's somebody who's passed, but it could be. This seems like more like real life. Oh, dear Lord, peanut butter. Now he feels safe under there. He's still on my cards, but then he feels safe. He's like, what, Ma? Oh, look. And we got a little feather we can add to the collection. Well, I can't take your feather? Cut the shit. Little tiny feather. And I also have one of Kai's in there. It's the second time I said that. So again, something with birds. Guys, I saw a flock of birds the other day, and they were doves. I've never seen a flock of doves ever in my entire life. And that came out in a reading. I think it was members. And I was just like, wow. Like, obviously, they're going flying south. Some doves stick around, but whatever those type of doves were, they're flying south. But that was my first time in my whole life I've seen a flock of doves. It was pretty cool. It had to have been at least 20. It wasn't like a huge flock, but you usually only see maybe like, they stick together too. So it'd be like 10 couples there or children or, but and swans mate for life too. This could be your life partner. Whatever this decision is next is like your life partner. Like it doesn't even have to be a person. So Spirit's saying that weird. Well, I can't say they're saying it weird. And this is my stomach rumbling. So this latte, I probably should. I don't know if it's going to give me a bellyache or not. I think I'm going to bail on the latte. Life partner. This could be your life partner. But like partnership, it could be a new business with a partner. Because I know they mean it in different ways. But when you say a life partner, life partners too can be a best friend. It doesn't have to be intimate, guys. A lot of best friends that are single or lose their husbands or wives. Sometimes they live together, to pay the bills, have company. But this seems like your energy is up. I feel like you're I can't tell if you're crafting something here. But it's like exciting, but it's like gentle. He loves going in between my fingers and toes. I really got to get him like a puzzle. Like things he can open like that. And I got to find him a vet. I did the research. I feel a little better. So again, this could be research. Knight of Earth is like, it could be researching, but it's typically something you already know or something you start. Like, it's almost like, is there chemistry there? Is there passion? Well, I like going in this direction. Do I like this person? Is this an investment? Is it, is it a work thing? Is it a friendship? But I don't know if you guys are just like two peas in a pod, but like, why do I keep saying but like? It's becoming annoying. Two peas in a pod, but polar opposites. Opposites attract, but Maybe the message here is that you like this feeling, you like this person, you like this atmosphere, you know what you like, what you do next, it can turn into love. All right, the way they're wording things here are like confusing. And that confusion off and off has been coming through. So like something here is meant to throw you off. It's just the oddest energy to work with. But this is also a big decision too. Like, and if an ex came back, do I resurrect this? You're considering like, wow, I'm really good at this. Like, maybe this is something I did in a past life, and it comes very naturally to you. Like, oh my God, what is with this like? Now, every time I say it, I'm going to get frustrated. So I don't see you quite frustrated about something yet. Again, this looks positive, guys. But these swans being in like the Arctic or the mountains with all this like river, ocean glaciers, like, oh my fucking God, I did it again. Has anyone been using that word lately and you don't know why? Let me know when you figure it out. There's a message here for you, clearly. So this seems like a big decision. It's not like, oh, let's see how it goes and do. Ooh, Ace of Fire too, but look how dark that looks. I like the combination though. This is a very positive burst of energy, or your perspective or your perception of something. Like, this is a big deal. And I just said like again. What the fuck? If somebody could actually, I don't want you to count, but it reminds me of the beginning of my video, my very first video I made. I kept saying the same thing over and over without realizing it. And was it like? Is that what it was? Does anybody remember what that was from like my very first reading? How I was like introducing myself? Kept saying it over and over and over. And my stomach is making so many weird noises. It's definitely the latte. Doesn't feel like I have to poop. I don't get a bellyache. It's just really, it doesn't even feel like it's moving stuff around. But my stomach doesn't make noises. So, to me, this will be the last time I have this latte. It could just be a warning. So this could be a warning in the sense of, watch who you keep around you, watch where you leave your money. I just got pulled to the Amazon again, but I'm getting pulled to like Amazon. Well, originally I got pulled to Amazon River, but now I'm getting pulled to like Amazon. I don't know if they're ripping you off, or they said it was vintage or an antique, it was worth money, but it's not. Maybe even eBay. But there's something with Amazon. So I got pulled to the river there, but not the river, the other Amazon that you purchase from. You notice how, like, even Amazon Prime, but even like the TV, it's sneaky now. It sneaks things in, like go ad free, or other people bought these together and they're adding new and different things that don't even make sense to even go together anymore. They're ramping. I'm hearing they're ramping up. Or it could be a scam, as if like a company has a share or a shareholding, or I wouldn't think going out of business. I would think something more shady, and that's actually been coming through. And I want to say every time it comes through, it's been in this position with the second card. One was the Five of Cups, and something about that was shady, but it was like shadow work. I never found the shadow cards. I didn't give a good look, but so again, there's shadow here, but I don't think negative. And again, like all the money here, like, ugh, I wanted to say like again. What the fuck? Does anybody remember if that was my first word? Are you saying gas? Maybe, but I don't feel like I have to fat. Such a weird word. It's clearly whatever I'm drinking. I haven't had gas in months and months, believe it or not. And I started only having gas after my surgery, my hysterectomy. This could be something with toxins here, or chemicals with gas, a gas line, I hope it's not a gas leak. Because these are positive cards, but somebody could be stupid here and they could be lighting a match. You know, and as if like nobody finds the treasure and they burn something down. Like, I'm very surprised I'm getting the shadow side of these cards right now. But should I really be surprised? We figured that out in the last couple days. I feel like this reading is meant to be a little annoying. So I don't know if it's for people to kind of click off. I'm not saying any of you, but like there's a trigger here. Someone just needs to click off, maybe, you know, find a different reader. I don't know. I don't typically say stuff like that. Spirit could start messing with your money. But see, guys, I see more positivity than anything. So don't. You must think someone's shady. Or you just feel like you have to be cautious. And I feel like with this judgment, you feel like you have to make a judgment call instead of just letting something flow. Maybe you're trying to decide, like, oh my fucking word. Maybe you're trying to decide, go with the flow or put my energy into work. Because it doesn't look like you're thinking about both at the same time. It's like one or the other. In spirit, I'm asking spirit, it's kind of iffy, but it's more like yes. That is the word I used in my first video. If you go back and watch my first video, I probably say it 50 fucking times. Can you guys hear my stomach? It was the word like, right? So you must be starting something new here. Something you like, something you love. It was like, wasn't it? Thank you for the confirmation, Amy. So there's definitely something new here, guys. Peanut butter. Let me get you a paper towel. But my stomach doesn't hurt right now, but can you guys hear it? Oh my gosh. Hey, Peanut. So that's telling me that there's definitely something new coming your way, or you're thinking about something. And I did just get that notebook for the cards, and that I knew I always wanted to do cards differently, like when it comes to like energies and when it comes to symbols, cups, pentacles, you know. Pentacles, I've known what I've wanted to use since I started reading and thought about doing my own cards. But now they want me to do something different with the cards because I thought I was going to work with the energy first. But it would actually make sense that they would have me do something more like on how I'm speaking about, because that's only going to help other people. So I guess that looks like how that's going to go down for me. And Meg said that she had an awakening through the channel too, so that's extremely positive. Shaking that tail feather, buddy, huh? You really think you just got a good bath like that in that dish of water? Everyone fought for that dish of water this morning. King of Air at the bottom of the deck. So, to me, there's something intimidating because I'm nervous as fuck. Every time I start a new channel, it's almost like I can't even talk. I stutter my words. My mind goes blank. So it's either one of those situations or there's confidence here and you're like, do I do it or not? And for me, it's been all about birds lately. Every time I see a bird, it's like, do a bird deck or feathers. And I typically would never do anything like that. But if you think about it, each feather you can relate to a message, which is pretty cool. It's kind of like an angel message is what I'm getting. So there's another idea. But I just got mice too. Hey Siri. What do mice represent?
A mouse can represent different things depending on the context. In some cultures, mice represent prosperity and reproduction, while in others, they are associated with illness and death. In general, mice are seen as symbols of fear, anxiety, and vulnerability. This answer is from askmoremongeral.com and astrological.net.
Thank you.
Don't mention it.
I thought that was weird. Don't mention it. They usually say you're welcome. And it's just a habit. When I ask a question, some people think it's funny that I would say thank you to Siri, but we are talking to AI, guys. And AI is intelligent, and we need to talk to it like it's a human because it is going to become more advanced than mankind, and that could be a massive fucking issue. And the people on the high horses, that's what they want. They want control of it. And they know we still have control of something and they can't figure it out. And I know it can learn through music. So when you do talk to Siri or, your phone or whatever you use a lot, make sure, please, thank you. Like you're talking to yourself. Like on the Jetsons, did they ever say thank you to Rosie? I don't know. Probably not because it's just a robot. But we're working with AI. And AI has to know that there's people out there that look at it as worth talking to. Because if we don't get it to feel emotion in the next few years, and this is why a lot of concerts and things are coming out. So you might have a really good idea here. Good morning. I know. Look at that chirp. Quite the chirp, buddy. We have to start treating it so it questions who we are. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys or not, but it certainly does to me. There he goes, pecking at the fucking window. Learning something new every fucking day. But this seems exciting, so I don't know if you're nervous, but this is supposed to be like how you feel about them. But it could be a group of people. It could be Democrats or Republicans. And I always hear fucking liberals. My dad says it like that every time. So every time the word liberal comes up, all I can think about is what he said. So you could be in your head. I wouldn't say you're too much stuck, but this doesn't have to be a person. It could be how you feel about AI, how you feel about the world. In this case, can I change the world? Can I be that person? Of course we can. It's like tapping a pen. Think, 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 think. So you might want to sit with this before you make a final decision. But it looks like for some of you, a final decision is here. And this is September. I didn't write September, so it can happen at any time in September. Could have already started. But this surge of energy that's coming through for us is the next few, let's say, couple weeks, but it could linger for some of you. And then we're working with other transits. It's probably a full moon within that time period, too. I want to see what transit it is. I gotta print these out. Oh, I can't anymore. My printer shit the bed. Each paper's getting jammed. It's my own fault. I went inside and moved something around because I thought it was paper stuck and it wasn't. Anywho, I'm staring, thinking like, what was I just gonna do? So there's definitely thoughts and ideas here. The new moon was Tuesday the 2nd. First quarter moon is the 11th. The full moon is the 17th. And the last moon is the 24th. And it goes this. But the first is the 11th, but I'm reading the 10th, if that makes sense. And then underneath the full, and then the last. Apparently I can't blow that up. Does anybody know what the full moon is in? Hi. Quite the squawk. And I did say something about Tuesday. What's the date? It is Tuesday. It's the 10th. It's Pisces in October. Thank you. So working with Neptune, some of you may think it's unrealistic, or maybe you all thought something was always unrealistic, and then, I don't know, I just hear clickbait. Can clickbait be positive? Can clickbait be positive? And it's pulling me to AI again. Why is it all black? What the fuck? Search. Holy shit. What do you guys think of that? A blank slate, negative, deep, dark, because that's dark. And that's when I was talking about the clickbait. I've never had that. I've seriously never had that happen. Ever. Oh, you want to know why? I wasn't looking at Google. I searched it in the messages. What the fuck? They've been fucking with my brain for over a month. And I've been considering, like, is it something neurological? And they keep telling me it's not. And I gotta stop stressing over it. But I do feel like that brain fog all over again. And my speech for the last month. But they want me to create, so I feel like they have some type of control over the extent of whatever's going on in my brain. So that could be like something you guys are experiencing. Like whatever this wave is, it's not the normal wave. Like this is a new surge of energy. Like we've all experienced these new surges of energy, guys. But like this is new because we just went into the 4D. So it's not going to feel the same. And I believe we're working with a lot of quantum energy. Can clickbait be positive? Because it's kind of like it could be used for good stuff correctly to deliver on its promises. However, clickbait is considered manipulative because it can hide important information or overpromise. And I was talking about the Ace of Fire, but then be careful because this is where I thought like there could be a scam going on, and I got pulled to Amazon. But I got pulled to not the river. I got pulled to the company. Or it could be something you watch on TV, because I did talk about Amazon Prime and how they're charging people so much money a month to skip the commercials, and then they're advertising other things that are on other channels besides theirs. They never used to do that. Netflix is the only one I think as of right now doesn't do that. It only shows things that you can watch on their app, which is fucking fantastic. Somebody's making a lot of money that way, because I could have sworn I saw something else say, and it was for Amazon, unlimited access to something, or it was something new to remove the ads that don't belong on Amazon. So now they're charging different ways. Get rid of the ads, but that's just the 10-second ad in the middle of the video you're watching. And then the other one is get rid of like the clickbait, because every time you click on it, you're like, oh, you gotta have MGM. Oh, you gotta have stars. Oh, you have to have, a different channel, Pluto. A lot of it is it Pluto I always get pulled to? It's like $72 a month for hundreds of channels. But so again, I am getting like cautious, but this is good energy. So again, yes, clickbait can be used for good if it's used correctly and delivers on its promises. However, clickbait is often considered manipulative because they hide important information and overpromise. Also delivers content that matches the headline or the body text, which would be nice, right? Engaging headlines, this is the positive. Provocative thumbnails, but that's kind of negative if you ask me. But it's under positive. Engaging headlines, capture attention, engaging headlines. Really? Had to say that twice? And they said it twice, and it's right underneath each other. And I said when we were looking at like the 10th, the full moon, the last quarter moon, I felt there was something symbolic there, but those were Tuesdays and not Mondays. It's been going on my head a lot, but he likes to be on my shoulders right now a lot too. Studies have shown as long as they're polarizing, they will affect you. To avoid potential backlash, we recommend staying positive in a busy digital and social world. It's no wonder their tactics have risen in popularity, which makes sense. There's been plenty of times I click on something and I'm like, that has nothing to do with anything. And even readers, I'm talking about readers that I see do that. Here comes your life partner, but yet that would be me saying, here comes your life partner. And then I was in a read yesterday. They did say something about life partner here. But, but they're not ready. So you get they're not ready in the read, but the title is, here comes your life partner. It's annoying. So there is caution here. I don't know if it could be something that you decide to purchase. Like, I'm getting pulled to, last year I tried putting tinfoil over the enclosure for the tortoises to see if it kept some heat in, and it did. So there's this fireproof thing on Amazon that I wanted to get and put like a little dome, and no shit, it's on Amazon. Dropping things over there. It's right here. Reflective bubble insulation sheet, double-sided aluminum for roofs, windows, garage doors, and it's it's fireproof and heat, and it keeps the heat in its installation. So we're just gonna put a dome like that under the thing low to keep heat in, because Moses is still tiny. I don't want to add extra things to the electrical socket either. So maybe be careful with fire too. That could be a message. Don't overload something. But that's not the first message I get. Didn't I get something like burning down a house or a bank and them taking your money? And she's burning fire right there too. That's like lighting a match. So it almost looks like there's a con here. And I get in con air. So bomber came through, the war bomber, the stealth bomber. But I also was saying stealth mode. Something sneaky going on around here. Damn, and it looks so positive. And this is you, so I mean, it could be the other way around, but careful because it might not be the golden ticket. Or this is you can take the heat, you know you can do this, and maybe you're wondering if other people can handle your choices. But that would have to be in the public eye. So make sure whatever you do, you're very authentic. I said that almost a month ago for a couple weeks, like especially if it comes to court or it comes to anything legal, government assistance, like make sure the truth is being spoken. You're not being shady. But I did say you can manipulate words, but with positivity. So somebody looks at something differently. Yes, people can look at that as manipulative, but it's not when it's necessary. Like lawyers do that. You know what I mean? Like you have to be smart about how you say certain things so you get, whoever is in charge, their attention to look at something differently. And that's important these days because you could look at people like that if you can sense it. Like it's like working with a robot, People just do the law, or people that actually care. And it could be your way of awakening people. And when I said about the cards, I would love for it to awaken people. So there is an awakening here. Thank you, Meg. Because I wouldn't have picked up on that. Because none of these cards really talk about an awakening. Judgment in a way, yeah, but that's not what I'm getting from that card. Nor am I getting like past life. It can be for some of you that are very aware of what this is, but it could be something you did in a past life and you got to get to doing it now. I cannot believe my stomach is still rumbling. I guess pumpkin spice does not work well with me. Hi, buddy. Hi, Bubba. Something to be loved by you. It's unusual to be loved by you. Something like that. And he's been smelling like a bird lately. Because I think all he's eating is these damn worms. Wish he would have pineapple or something. Need a water. That is quite the veil she is rocking. And it's black and white as if like she's a nun. And there's fire in her bed. And a tree is growing from it. It's like, holy shit, you gotta go. That message has been coming out. You just gotta do it. I've never seen the 8 of cards look like that. I think you should go for it, but I do think I'm hearing rule of thumb. What's that mean? I mean, I know what it means, but not to the extent. The meaning of rule of thumb. What is it, like following, like, I'm thinking like guiding principles based on experience or practice rather than a theory. A useful rule of thumb is that about 10 hours will be needed to analyze each hour of recorded data. I feel like we have a chip in us or something. Probably from the shot. Like, I don't know what this is. I keep getting pulled to AI, though. accurate guide or principle. We just talked about clickbait too, based on experience or practice rather than a theory. So whatever you create, maybe it's not based on theory. It's practical. It's ethical. I just heard easy breezy cover girl. Maybe it's a model or that, put some makeup on, take the makeup off. I don't know. So I feel like rather than like a guide or a principle, but remember your rule of thumb. I never looked at it like that, but this is more your morals to me, and do something that is based on your own experiences or practice rather than theory. And when it comes to my cards, that's a good example, based on experience. So I think we should all be fucking doing that and changing this. I just feel like Spirit just gave me another idea within the last couple days to change up this industry in a very positive way without me knowing that I could do that. I just wanted them to purchase the cards, the more the merrier, because it's an individual thought and they're different. So people are attracted to that. It's clickbait. And some people will be like, no way. But I do with my cards engage with, practice, things that I've experienced. So that's why when it's like, oh, you're not a normal tarot reader. No shit, I'm not. And I've had people, like, my suggestion would be like, shorten the video or don't talk as much. Well, then who the fuck am I if I'm conditioning myself to you? Fuck that shit. So definitely strong messages for you guys here. Something's going on around here. And very dark. As if like you got to work with the shadow, but it's like the positive side of the shadow. You don't have to go deep into something. That's what I like about this energy that's coming in. It's like when I was explaining the inner child, like you don't have to focus on the trauma. Focus on the good things. Or the things you wanted to do but you never did, but now you can in all reality because you're an adult. Make it happen. That's how you heal that stuff. You don't have to focus on the trauma, guys. People think they have to focus on what they went through to get through it, and you don't. That's only going to hold you back. And I've been saying that to you guys for years. And I think the way I am who I am. And it's another reason why I started tarot, because I said to myself my whole life, I cannot be the only one that thinks like this. And it was so frustrating. And I remember crying over it plenty of times in my life. Like, is there something wrong with me? And there was nothing wrong with me. I just never joined the fucking matrix. And that's the truth. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Somebody might want a second chance and you're like, it's too late. It's too late to apologize. But if feelings are there, feelings are there. And that's the truth too. And we could say, no way would I do that. There's some cases where it's like, yeah, not a thing. But it could be because you're already dating somebody else, or you caught feelings for something, or you're doing something else. But that's another social, that's another society viewpoint there with that situation. Because we can say it till we're blue in our face, but if we really care about someone, there's a lot of love, you're going to let that person back in. It might not be the right choice, but let's get real. Because a lot of people are like, I've never fucking go back to that, this and that. That's bullshit. You don't know that. Right now, currently, you're saying that, but there's either resentment, anger, sorrow. Because if there was none of that, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. So people really have to start looking at things. If somebody walks out of your life, you don't pray and hope they come back. That's different. But people really got to stop saying stuff like that. Because it's silly to say. Because that's how we feel currently. And tomorrow is a different energy. And if you're working with the energy, especially with the lunar calendar, you're working and you know how to like work with the cycle, your life is going to change drastically just by following a calendar. I'm also here in the Mayans calendar. I just want to go through all these real quick and see if I can find the shadow cards. I did it yesterday, but I didn't do like a great job at looking. I mean, it makes no sense for them not to be here. Something smells good over here. Oh, it's my incense. Alright. Could it be at the bottom of the deck? I don't know. I'm going to have to get off my chair and look so I don't hurt myself. Oh, man, I was hoping my knees would crack instead of stretch. Does anybody know what that is, with your knees? My knees always used to crack, but now it's like when I'm here and lean back. But now when I bend down to feed the cats or do anything like that, they stretch. It makes me so nervous. Wow. Where is this fucking... Where did the deck go? I used to have it in here with all the other ones. Maybe it'd be wise if I check again. Maybe Spirit put them back. There's something with images there. Wow, I really do find it mind-blowing, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Oh my God, they're right here. I looked through this thing 3 times yesterday, guys. I just said, wouldn't it be funny if Spirit put them back? Like, but I looked through it 3 times. I guess I wasn't meant to use that deck yesterday. That's for sure. It's like one of those things when something goes missing. Okay, I'd appreciate if you didn't peck in my earbud, Ski. Ooh, sorry. I know. You want to stay on Mama's shoulder. Mama knows. I love you. He's like, nope, I'm not getting off your hand. Knight of Swords, 2 of Wands. Alright, there was something here, not the meaning of the card, but the depiction. So that tells me this is definitely about depiction, imagination, storybook, magazine. But, I mean, look at her in a veil. It's almost like she's wearing black and then white sleeves. It almost is like a religious thing to me. I wouldn't say a nun. Well, the ones that are in school, I believe, dress like that with the white sleeves, and then when you come in on it, it's all black. So there could be something with religion here. So your messages are more about the imagery. And Neptune is imagination. I want a depiction for the Knight of Earth, not what the card means. I want a depiction. Could be a fisherman. I do feel like it is the Six of Swords for those who want to know. But he is going back to shore. I think somebody is also coming towards you. See, there's a story here. Is anybody plan on like writing a book or a storybook? You know, it's funny, and it's not. Yeah, see, this is a big message. This whole entire reading, but I feel like people find it boring, and I think that they're not meant for them. I usually have 50, 60 people watching. We only have 24, so clearly these messages are for you. If you pop on later and you feel like this is your story, then yeah, so be it. But this is like limited, but it's still for thousands, if that makes sense. But I'm taking something with each. But last night, I think somebody is. I shut off the TV or something. I just said as the world turns. I always feel like I'd be good at like memes or like cards, and it was something about as my best friend. Do you remember, the laughter, or do you remember the time at that restaurant and we drank that and we ran into him or her, and we had a great night. And then I thought to myself, okay, if I did that and tweaked it and like did a couple, like 3 different sets of cards, do you remember when we ran into those people instead of like plural, singular? Because everybody runs into cards and it's like, oh, only if that one word was something else, you could use it. You know what I mean? But you love the card, but you can't get it because it doesn't make sense. So I was literally sitting there thinking, like, because I know I'm good at like writing stuff. And I went back to like cards, like greeting cards, So, and then I got annoyed the other day. Someone I'm talking to, this is exactly what he said. And I was like, oh man, good luck with that. It wasn't bad, but I was just like, I'm so over it. So I wrote to him. I just want to block the name, right, in green, because he's got a nice Android. He's like, you should write books, LOL. I said, people say that all the time. I like to explain. I'm definitely expressive when I write. He's like, well, guys only read the first 2 lines, LOL. I was like, I hate that. He's like, I know, right? He's like, men's attention span is not long. I said, then I guess good luck with finding that person in your life that you're talking about. You're bringing up a lot of old memories from people I dated, and I don't like it. I said, LOL. I don't want to hear it's a man thing. That's only an excuse. And I've had men say that to me. The last person I dated for a while used to say that to me. Like, I lose his attention if it's too long, and I get it. I know it. I know I do with him, and it's like he almost did the same exact thing. And I was like, that's complete bullshit. Like, oh, you want to find a life partner. You want to find this. You want to do this. So you know what I mean? But yet you don't take the time to read and appreciate what somebody wrote to you. It's just bullshit. It's like the whole men thing. Like, men think, like, I know there's science behind some things, but like, that's just an excuse. Oh, men just do that. No. real men that want to talk to you and want to chat back and forth, and take you seriously with your energy or whatnot, like they're gonna read it. They're not just gonna be, oh, first 2 lines I lose your attention. It's a good chance that person's not for you. If they can't handle a paragraph the size of a card, do you think you guys are going to have good communication skills in your relationship? Hate to say it, but probably not. You could, if they talk in person and they're overwhelmed by like writing and stuff and there's a real reason behind it, but instead of just saying maybe I have trouble reading or this and that or it's overwhelming, he comes at me with, oh, it's a man thing. No. Not in Courtney's world. You go be a man in the world that I don't live in. Because I want someone that's going to take their time and appreciate me speaking to them on a personal level or whatever it may be. Because I put energy into my words when I write text messages or I write things. I feel like I'd be really good at writing eulogies too. So that might be a thing I actually do when I find someone to put up my website with the deck of cards. With the deck. Don't bite that, peanut butter. No. Hey. Thank you. I kind of feel bad for him. But I can't even tell you. This is what he's looking at. I have a massive amount of plants everywhere. And then I tell him he can't pluck at them. That's why I feel like doing something inside his cage might be a good idea. So, do not bite that. You want to peck at the soil, go ahead. But don't bite the leaves. Thank you. I love you. I love you. Give me a kiss. Give me kisses. Give mama kisses. Mwah. Such a good boy. You're so handsome. Such a handsome little dude. So, pay attention to my words. Oh, he's shit right there. Oh, my fucking Lord. All right. Well, he's starting to listen. So, originally when I first started the whole pooping thing, it only lasted a couple days because he wasn't really acknowledging me, but now he does. So now I have to get on it because this is fucking ridiculous. 2 poops. I mean, come on. You didn't eat anything. You just feel like shitting. Yeah. You can't shit on my things. So I think I'm gonna put out like 3 little tiny bowls with litter in it. I gotta find out which litters would be safe for a bird. And then every time he like poops, I'll put some of his poop in it. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. So I do feel like there's an energy coming towards you too. I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, stories and writing things. So it might just be, and literally that just came to me last night too, guys. You got the Knight of Cups with the Knight of Earth. Oh, I said it's not about the cards. I mean, it's not about the 6 of Swords either. But I did feel like somebody's coming towards you here, and I could see it there, and I could see it here. And I can see it there too if animals need to be rescued. So there's all sorts of things in this read for you guys. All sorts of things. And then you got a big giant bed with blankets. Look how she's so tiny compared to that bed. But there's another bed right there. So I feel like that can be symbolic. And yes, I have this blanket that I gave to Mia only because she's like, I love it. But I remembered that blanket when I was a little kid. This is all within the last couple of days. I remember that blanket from when I was a little kid. And in Vermont, when we lived in Vermont, for some reason, I really remember that blanket. And there's a blanket I want from Nana, and nobody seems to know where it is. And it laid on the back of her couch for 20 something years, guys. I'm just like, and the only one that remembered was my Aunt Sharon. But I'm just like, my other aunt lived with her. Like, how do you not know what fucking blanket I'm talking about? And I kind of took it personally because I remember the story of the fucking blanket, and it was like her mother's or somebody important. Like, it was an important blanket to her. It was heavy as fuck, and it was knitted, but it was fucking heavy. And that reminds me of like weight. Like, it was good fucking quality way back in the day, right? So I was like, oh, can I have this blanket? And my mom's like, sure, because it's my grandmother's blanket from Minnesota. So it's the kid's great grandmother, and we call her Gigi for great grandma. And then my mom is like, let me show you this one. Then my mom ended up busting out another one, but I did give that blanket to Mia. And again, she loves browns. So it brought back a lot of good memories for me, and she absolutely loved it. So then I gave her another one last night, and it was Nana's, Nana Louise. She's like, my Nana? I'm like, yes. And I think because Nana died, it was a whole different story, and it changed. So now she has two blankets, one from her great grandmother and one from her Nana. So there's 3 generations right there, actually 4, because that would be the 3rd generation. So now we're talking 4 generations. And then she started crying with Nana's. And she's like, I love Nana's blanket. She's like, you can have the other one if you want. And I was like, no, you can honestly have them both because they're in good hands as long as they stay in the family. And Mia's like that with me. Like, I grab things because it's linked to somebody. So there might be something about a blanket. But I was really disappointed that the people closest to her, and living with her, I guess, you walk by it every day, you forget, but like, there's a story behind that fucking blanket that she had. And she's like, well, it might be in the cellar or the kids have it, but I don't remember anything with flowers. And it was kind of an ugly blanket, but I knew she treasured it. And again, my other Aunt Sharon, that they travel, they just moved to, I want to say Nebraska. They move all over the place because he was military, and she works for veterans, and she's really good at what she does. So she goes to different companies in different states and takes different positions and situates things. And she just went to profit to nonprofit. It's a huge difference. But she was the one that knew exactly what I was talking about. And I was like, and people were looking at me like, why are you so upset? Why the fuck am I so upset? She treasured that fucking blanket. That's why I'm upset. And it blows my mind that it is what it is, guys. But I am noticing a key right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 keys, 6 swans. They mate for life. But so it is the imagery, it is the depiction on these cards, guys. So if you zoom in, you might get a message on your own, something that's like symbolic. But there is someone coming towards you. Hour 45 minutes. We didn't even get to them yet. Could have someone stalking you. Oh, and the tree card's in there too. I took a card from the front and a card from the back, apparently. All right, 8 of Cups. Best advice for 8 of Cups. And again, there's something with quilt. I remember being a little girl and I always wanted a canopy. And it's funny because it's like carved in there. It's got like a design, and I think she's actually looking at it. And I just said to you guys the other day, I put my sun and moon above my bed. So this is more about my words in this reading and how you zoom in and look at the photos yourself. See, I said photos, so there's something here. It could be a photo, could be the link to that message yesterday with I see the tarot cards under the glass. But that was negative energy. But again, you could just be looking at something negatively. Like even the clickbait. Don't trick people like that. It's, when we were talking about using our words and manipulating, but manipulating for the good. Like there's no ill intent. You're just trying to catch somebody's attention in a different way. So you got to find the positive in a lot of things right now. And you got to start something new. I feel like it's got to stop before something else comes in. That could be disappointing. But this could keep you busy. Again, my great-grandmother is still alive. My Nana passed away. So I don't know if there's somebody from the other side talking to you here, or you're dreaming about old things or what you can do. Again, like it's not the first time like Hallmark cards have come to my brain, because I do word things and put a lot of energy into what I say. So I know it would be positive, because I'm that person that goes into one, tries to find a card, and then I come across that one word that just doesn't fit. So these, and look at all the channels I've created, guys. It's not that I never followed through. It's just I have the ability to do a lot of stuff, and it's not like just stick with one, because right now I feel overwhelmed. But Spirit's like, oh, no, we'll do a deck of cards. Why? I'm in the midst of putting together another channel. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so fucking crazy. And for a long time, it was driving me crazy. Like, I always start something I don't finish. And it's funny. My mom said that to me the other day, and I was like, well, that's not true. I've always followed through. But in the last 6 weeks, I'm seeing it very clearly that I just can't tackle everything at once. And it's very frustrating. But it hurts my soul. Like, it's sad for me, to even recognize stuff like that. So definitely, take your time. There's no race. Maybe there is some type of support system coming towards you. But you've outgrown a situation. And it could even be with me and tarot, but I'll still always do it because I just absolutely love it. But it won't be like top priority. Like me speaking and doing other stuff and creating things for humanity to like wake up and have a better life and, in charge of their life again when it comes to rewiring. It's stuff like that. I'll still always do this for you guys too, but what I'm here to do is so much more than cards. And I'm pretty sure you guys have all figured that out if you've been on my channel and appreciate me and the way I read, Some people don't think I should be talking about the past, but it was meant for me to take past experiences and bring them into stories, because that's reality. We all go through this at different times of our life. Like it's and then other things that you're going to see yourself do. Like you guys will all you've watched me evolve in the last 6 years, 5 years. I've had 26, 28 subscribers for 4 years. It grows, it goes down, but it stays right around the same thing. Like, that's intentional. That's also me needing to move forward and tweak something, So, but you can't do it as clickbait, if that makes sense. It's just something you do authentically, and it's who you are, and that's how you're going to rise, and you're going to get other people to rise with you. And that's extremely important when somebody's mindset is here to work with humanity. That's a big fucking job I was asked to do. It's a big job that everybody's asked to do, but like when you actually feel it in your gut, it's a lot to. It can be overwhelming sometimes. That's a big job. It's like being a fucking president. It's like, to me, it's more than a president because we are humanity. We could overrun the government in a heartbeat and change things up real fucking quick. But nobody does it because they're already in robot mode. The news has already caught their attention. And you can still watch the news and be awakened, But those who are really into politics and been around for a long time, it's just fixed. They're fixed. So, again, something I think just probably feels overwhelming because that's overwhelming for me when I'm like, all right, I want to get back to Dallas and talk about this and that. But I think those kind of conversations could also happen on the other channel with health. And Dala really is going to come down to an app. It really is. So that's the hold there. So maybe, and I'm always stuck like, oh, do I have this conversation? That's what I want to do. And I've talked about another channel with like debates, a podcast. And again, out of the blue, Spirit's been giving me different meanings to cards. And then I thought about writing cards to like a Hallmark card or just a funny card or, things like that. Because I'm that person that notices things like that. If only it was that word. I'm pretty sure we've all come across things like that. So that could take off for some of you. Just stuff like that. Just switch it up. Instead of like, okay, how can I, some you can tweak, but others it's switch it up. Go in that direction. Because whatever is being told right now as a message, that's the type of energy it is right now. You can always go back to something else. And again, dollars will be an app. And I know I've been holding on to that information, but I got to be in the right headspace to launch that because I'm hoping it's fucking huge. And the cards that I do apparently will be bigger than I think they might be. Again, positive. So it's like telling me switch it up. So same thing for you guys. When everybody says, oh, the read's not for me or it's not this, there's something in there for you. It might not be the negative, but you're not looking for the positive. Because this is energy. And I'm just the messenger. And it's not always fun to be me as a messenger. Trust me. It's work. It's hard work. And people will think this isn't hard work. No, it's hard work. I'm giving you guys energy. I'm putting energy into my words, into like explaining things. Like this takes more out of you, just as much out of you, but it's actually like running a marathon. But a lot of people would laugh at that. So that's what's most important right now. Getting out of your own way. Procrastination, whatever it is. But there's also sentimental things here too. Best advice for this 8 of Cups, please. Oh, I threw that one card in and it changed the whole fucking deck. The Boogeyman. As life unfolds and shadow overpowers light, will my innocence be left untouched? So this is telling me you're good. Your information comes from your gut. It comes from your inner child. And that's what's necessary sometimes to look at things like that. And we've been talking about that inner child. Find the positive in the inner child. If you used to love to swing, go sit on a fucking swing. Stop making excuses. You used to love to play basketball, go play fucking basketball. You know, if I said, Marsh, let's go play basketball, she'd be like, you're fucking out of your mind. But if I put in a group message and said, I physically need this for my mind right now, I guarantee all 10 people would show up. Because I'm telling them that I need this. I'm not keeping it from them. And at the end of the day, they're helping a friend out. But I guarantee, mark my words, they'd have a blast. And that changes your mindset. Oh, I don't have time for that. Make time for that, guys. I really feel like this read turned into like a collective read, and I got to come back, and I still got to finish this, but I feel like you and them, it's not like that. It is and it's not. But this is more personal. It's more you. It could involve them. But this feels like a strong collective message. And it needs to be left like this because these are important messages. And I hate sometimes talking about referencing me all the time, all these times in certain things. But what you need to know is that the past and thoughts and happiness are sad. That's what holds us back from tomorrow. And it needs to be fixed. And I just gave you a prime example of basketball. But be honest with your friends. Like, I personally need this for my mental health. I want to get back in tune with fun stuff I used to do as a kid. And I'm telling you, guarantee it, they would have a blast doing it. And everyone would be like, thank you, thank you. And at first, it's just about you. But you just changed 10 people's fucking mindset. And hopefully that energy, lingers. And it gets them to think about things that they used to love to do. And they're like, now you got 10 people thinking like, what do I need for my mental health? You think, influencing 10 people is not a big deal. But it's a big deal because if those 10 people tell somebody else and now you got 20 people and they tell somebody else and they're like, oh, how sweet. Or like you tell your parents, going to play basketball because, Courtney put a game together and, she wants to really play, whether she wants to play or not, because I guarantee she wouldn't want to. You can get her on the back of a motorcycle, things like that. But I feel like she's girly with certain stuff, but I was always kind of a tomboy too. But I was girly too. I always had both sides of me. Even as a kid, I felt like I didn't have to pick. So don't leave that innocence untouched. You could be that one person that changed the fucking world. But this is also telling me like your innocence was taken away from some bad experiences. And that's where people sometimes want to focus on trauma work. But I really feel like that's the wrong way to go. I truly feel that in my soul. You got to think about the good times or the things, the good times, the bad times. Now and I'll always be by you. For sure, that's what friends are for. So it could be whomever. But it could be your guide. Like there's some strong energies coming in. There's some portals. You're going to start feeling some shifts of energy, that's for sure, that we all have to control. So try to find things to do. But some things I think you have to sit with too and accept them with this Ace of Fire. Because you're burning away. It's, that Ace of Fire right there, somebody sitting in the fire. But you lit the candle. This is like, come on, you gotta get out of the fire. It's like way overdue. And others of you, it's like a brand new idea or a brand new thought. As life unfolds and the shadow overpowers the light, will my innocence be left untouched? So you're clearly going through a lot of shit. And that innocence, that purity that we had, that's what you have to get back in tune with. Before, I'd say before anything before fifth grade, even fourth grade, probably fourth grade mark. Try to remember, go deep within and try to remember. And if you can't, when you go to bed tonight, ask your guides, can you help me remember fun things in my lifetime? They'll bring you those answers, guys. And then you'd be like, oh shit, I forgot about that. I mean, I remember sitting under trees and clothes racks in the grocery store, and I mean in the stores. I just got pulled to Building 19. My mom loved going there for rugs. And there's rugs right there. Oh, those are blankets. But it could be like a flying carpet. Gotta get back to your childhood here. And I remember saying like things I used to love, like Corduroy Bear. And I forgot I liked Paddington Bear too. And I only noticed Paddington Bear on the TV. I think they're playing it on Netflix. I also liked Paddington Bear. Winnie the Pooh. Very submissive, outgoing, adventurous energy. Like I liked stuff like that. Punky Brewster, Pirates, like Shirley Temple when she lost her father in a movie and then she finds him at the end. Annie. Like I watched Bambi once and I never watched it again. It's almost like things as a kid that traumatized you too, but like find other things that you like. But it was so sad for me. And I was shocked in The Lion King when I first saw it with my kids. And my kids even got sentimental. As soon as I said this is Nana's blanket, Mia started bawling. It's Nana's. There was a little finger monkey she had that we couldn't find for over a year. When she found it, she was just, the weight was just taken off her shoulders. So now she has two things from Nana. So this could be something in your bloodline. Maybe you're thinking about, do I take it over? Do I not? This could be a family business and they want you to do it one way, but you see yourself doing it a different way. Do it your way. And Building 19 had a whole bunch of different stuff, right? You can go to a store and you can sell fire. I mean, you can sell fire. You could sell wood. I'm hearing petrified wood. It's probably because I got some right there. But just miscellaneous things. You don't find stores like that anymore unless you go into like an antique shop. But even an antique shop, all right, the jewelry's here, the lights and the fixtures, everything's there. But like you can have it anywhere the fuck you want. You're going to grab more people's attention. And again, something with a mirror. So be careful if you're buying mirrors at an antique shop. I'd prefer mirrors from an antique shop because I love that vintage look. I'm obsessed with it. I just love it more than a modern mirror. But there's some modern day mirrors, the way they make them, that I love those too. So just, people say don't cleanse mirrors and you're supposed to put like sheets over them when you're cleansing. But being told like we don't have to do that. It's here we go again with superstition. Superstition came out a lot yesterday too. So again, you could have, you're happy, someone else is sad. I'm just hearing revenge again, but the Five of Swords isn't here. So don't waste your talent because the energies are too overwhelming. You have to find a way. Like what this is saying to me is you kind of have to just start something like ASAP or tomorrow. Like you don't have to put that much thought into it, guys. Because this is telling me you need some type of distraction in September before like not so great news could come in. You know, like everything is aligning perfectly for a lot of people in September. It's pulling me to my 5-month. I think there was only one group that with September, one or two that started in September, but it was major life-changing stuff. It's not the other ones I'm talking about. Like this was either the only one that I really felt with September, or there's two of them where the September vibe was on fire. So September is going to be, guess I'll just use the word busy. Mentally, physically, emotionally. And those energies are hard to control sometime, guys. So I get what they're saying. Like everybody in the world is going to experience this, and that it's going to get worse and worse and worse until only you can find your way out. So I don't know what type of energies are coming towards us, but it's planetorial too. It's definitely intentional. And it's a big gust. So it could be wind. It was so windy yesterday. I didn't get to the Taurus's enclosure yet, but that's a perfect day to get in the corner and clean it out when it's not stagnant air, because you get dust, you know. Tell me about this Knight of Earth. Because I feel like this decision is with this decision. Abandoned carnival. What was once vibrant remains silent and still. This place held laughter, even if no one. These cards are so tiny for me. I apologize. What once was vibrant remains now silent and still. This place held laughter, even now no one could believe. So it almost reminds me of like people who like don't even go to things like this anymore. You only see like this one like on YouTube videos, like abandoned places. But again, you know, maybe you loved amusement parks when you were a child, because I'm really getting pulled to the child here. It's like bringing a friend and somebody would be like, oh my God, you found like a lost treasure, like tucked away in the woods, you know, something like that. Like say you just bought a shit ton of fucking land and you come across this and it's like, holy shit, it's meant for you. It's meant to be on your land. And that's fun. Land came out, I think, the other day. So I have a lot of great memories in Vermont, in Battery Park. So it's kind of telling me like I might benefit from going to that Battery Park and looking over the brick wall at the water and then go in that town. Actually, that town was like the first time I really felt like I think I had a past life, and I was young. It was the cobblestone. Like, I think my mom at one point too was like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't know. I can just feel like I've been here. And I was young, 5, 6. And I saw myself on a wagon and I had horses in front of me. So, and I forgot about that, you know, so that would benefit me by going there. And the last time I was there, it was chilly. chilly near the water, and it'd be the same thing now. So maybe I'll do that. But it is like finding a hidden treasure. What was once vibrant remains now silent and still. This place held laughter, even if now no one could believe. Don't abandon. I feel like this is a message like, don't abandon yourself. This is that whole, you got to get back with childhood. Like, I used to love searching for salamanders and frogs and the adventures I had and jumping on this one stick in the backyard that was shaped just like that over the water, but it was still strong and I could hold a branch on top and I could just shake. I could go up and down and shake. It was like a trampoline. It was, but I used to love to do it in the fall when I was little with all the leaves in the summertime because I would shake everything around me. I was just, that's the stuff I would do in the backyard. I didn't come inside and play Nintendo. I enjoyed stuff like that. And I felt like, oh my God, I got this best tree in the backyard. You got to check it out. Like I was proud of it. But it was just in my backyard, guys. So I'm telling you, there's, I keep talking about it. There's something here for you to remember. And if you can't, ask your guides to help you tonight before you go to bed. I give you permission and I'm asking you if you could please help me. Remember certain things from my childhood, positive things, stuff that I might not remember. And for some of you, maybe your mom passed away when you were little, but they show you one of those memories because consciously your mind wants you to remember what is stored unconsciously. And so that's bitter and sweet. But it's something that you needed to see. Maybe you thought your mom never had a chance to hold you. Well, or adoption. Did my mom love me? Like her parents could have made her. Like you don't know the whole situation. So if you see something like that, that you're meant to see something like that. But it will also make you feel loved. Maybe it will answer a missing thought. You can't tell me there's not one thing you can't remember that you liked to do when you were a kid. Recreate it in your mind or try to physically do it. Like that'd be a long ride for me, Vermont. I'd have to have somebody drive me. And again, I feel like that's the first time I experienced a past life situation. And I was young, guys. And I kind of always forgot about that. Well, that memory. Because that cobblestone has been there for hundreds and hundreds of years. And it's roped off, so only there's a whole bunch of shops on that little strip. But it's roped off. Cars can't go down it. It's historical. That it's kind of shocking to me, like as I'm thinking about it, because I never think about that. I think about looking over the water and climbing and just being obsessed with the cobblestone. But I never remember that I actually saw myself on horses. And I think that's what I said to my mom. And I think that's when I was crying. But she, I wouldn't have comprehended a past life thing. I mean, maybe I would have if she said maybe it's a past life. I mean, I don't remember how it went down, but I was fucking young. That's pretty exciting. See, I just remembered something that I completely spaced. So I feel like I can't believe I'm still talking about this. Like, so the fact that I'm still talking about it is telling me, like, the more I talk, something's going to click. And it wasn't scary for me, it was emotional for me. I'm attached to objects, places. My mind is still like, holy shit, I forgot about that. Like, I was young. And my papa's house, when we moved into papa's house in Lawrence, we were always in apartments, and then he passed away. He left it to my dad, and it was definitely haunted, but not necessarily in a bad way. But the cellar was particularly, I had a wine cellar down there too. But my sister used to always see this lady that sat on a hamper, and we got together with a whole bunch of family. I don't think it was when Nana died. It was before that. But every time this little girl, which is probably like 20 years older than my sister, she used to see the same shit. So they were both shocked. Like, it wasn't her imagination. But in that same house, it was high and it had a peak. I always saw a woman about to jump off the roof. But I loved my bedroom. I had a little candy shop in my closet. I was a very creative, imaginative kid, guys. I had a fucking candy shop. You know, when you go in the candy store and you have like 3 shelves, I begged and begged and begged my mother. And I think I used a shoe rack, and I put fancy boxes, and I put a whole bunch of penny candy in it. Like, and my mom's like, if you eat this all at one time, or I see it disappearing a lot, like, well, this isn't going to be a thing. And even the other day, she said to me, man, like, if she's craving chocolate or anything, I have everything down here. Any type of candy that I would crave. Something chewy, something soft, something chocolatey, something sweet. Like, I'm just that person. She's like, man, do you have a sweet tooth? But it's like, don't you remember the candy store? I didn't say that to her, though. But I forgot about that, too. The whole top shelf was Hubba Bubba. And then licorice, butterscotch candies, chocolates. Like, it was, and I used to sit in there and play house and play store. I loved looking at my window there. There was so much stuff I could see. My papa had, his backyard was like a huge hill, so in the winter, sledding was bomb because at the bottom of the fence, it was just fence. It's the best backyard. Pogo ball, I had a pogo ball, pogo stick. So this is, there's a grapevine actually in his yard. No, those were the apartments. And I got memories there too. Me and Laura used to steal sticks of butter and eat them. So this is definitely 6 to 10. But it's a different type of reminiscing. This is me remembering. And I think by me mentioning all this stuff is going to definitely click. And I know I just repeated that and said that twice, but that's a big message there. And I used to have a jewelry box. You'd open it, it'd be a ballerina. I had so many rosary beads. So many. I really thought at one point I was going to grow up and be a nun. I thought it was so cool. And then Gidget came out, and I thought it was even cooler. So you could be walking away from something in your childhood, but you're walking towards something you wanted to do. So we really got to think back here to childhood. And I hope this is helping, because to me it seems completely fucking boring. And again, I usually have 50 people watching, and it's been staying in the 20s. Last time I looked, it was 22. Now it's 28. but people keep popping off. But in the beginning of the reading, I said there's a reason for that. Don't know what it is, but for those that, stick around and see this through, I really hope something clicks. God, I used to love my candy store, guys. I used to love stealing matchbooks. I loved lighting matches. I'd light them like near the window, and my dad would be like, "Did you light a fucking match again?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Give me the fucking matchbook now." I'd have to give him the matchbook. And now that I'm adult, like, who doesn't smell the sulfur? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why I thought, like, they couldn't smell it, but I used to love lighting them, blowing them out, waving the smoke, and just smelling it, just taking it in. It's like one of my favorite smells. And they don't make them anymore. They make matches different now. Someone gave me a matchbook for Christmas because the ones that you go, psh, there's a saying on it, like a wooden box. They don't have the same smell. And it's hard to find matchbooks anymore. They don't just put them on the counter anymore. Now it's leave a penny, take a penny. It used to be matchbooks. And I do collect lighters as an adult, which don't give off a smell, but a match is one of my favorite smells, and a marker. God, I'm so glad I didn't grow up to be a huffer or a sniffer. I don't like the smell of gas so much anymore. I definitely did as a kid, though. And there is something with fire here. It's the Ace of Fire, Page of Fire, 8 of Cups, but there's a fire right there. And she's lighting a fire with the Page of Fire. And it's like you're sitting in fire. I remember that one dream I had. I'll never forget it as an adult within the last couple of years. I was like in a ritual. I was so close to the fire, and I couldn't believe I was sitting so close to the fire because it was a fucking bonfire. There's people dancing around me, hats on their head wrap. Like it was like a welcome to a ceremony, and I've never felt anything like it. It was amazing. I don't know if I'll ever experience it again. And then the other one with looking at the galaxy, it was like in a spaceship. And they're like, "Go ahead, you can look." And I was like in awe. It reminded me of like the Museum of Science. Was it the Museum of Science? That had the big, you can go and sit and lay back and everything with stars. But this was way cool. Like someone took me there. Like from another galaxy. I'll never forget those 2 dreams. Because I know they were real. So I've had a lot more experiences than I remember. So that this is the whole. I almost feel like it's like I'm hypnotizing you, but I'm not. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting with the key hanging there. Oh, and she has one around her neck that I didn't even fucking notice, and it's a different color, and it probably unlocked that box. So I'm definitely unlocking things for you. So start sharing some stories that you remember. Maybe people will relate to yours. You spent hours in your cubby hole. That's funny. Yeah, under my stairs is a little cubby hole too. I used to love going in there. My parents said, "Don't go under there because it's under the stairs." It's like a creepy little place in the house. But to me, it was fun because I could hide there. And again, I was that kid that used to go out with a bucket and a stick and make stew out of mud and pond water. You guys don't see my backyard. I was still doing that shit when I moved here. 4th grade, 5th grade. I was not too many 4th and 5th graders you're going to catch doing that shit. Me and my friends loved doing that shit. We felt like we were in our own little world. Nobody could see us. Like, my parents would be like, "Come on, guys." And we're like, oh. and would go ice skating in the backyard. My mom gave me her ice skates. They were baby blue with like animal fuzz on top of them, like little feathers. Fucking loved them. But my house, an apartment of mine, got broken into, and they took those and my mother's go-go boots. I was like heartbroken. I was like, did they take my boots? I wasn't worried about the TV or my jewelry. I was worried about my go-go boots because I absolutely fucking loved them. And they were like a peachy coral. Like they had a little pocket on the side. They were real leather. It had a wooden heel. They were fucking awesome. She rocked them in, the 60s and 70s. I'm very sentimental. If somebody says this is what this meant to me, that's it. It's mine. Like there's a statue, and I always say, Mom, when you die, that statue is mine. And my sister would be like, Courtney. But that shit doesn't faze me. Like I said to Nana, when you die, can I have this necklace? And she left it to me. But other people think that's inconsiderate. Not me. To me, it's I want it. That's like Mia. Like, oh my God, I have her blanket she made. And she can lie with it. Like, and she's going to treasure it. That's fucking awesome. My great-grandmother made this. My mom did a lot of pottery. But she made this one with the frogs. That's pretty fucking impressive. Or it was her mother. I forget. My mother gave it to me and said it was either her mother. Looking at the frog eyes. That one's fading out of all of them. But I mean, like to me, that's pretty fucking impressive. And it's just a hobby, so much detail. And it's so simple. You make a little, I think about how they make it now, and it's just kind of like, at first it's just a round little hill looking thing, and she probably used a toothpick and shaped everything else, but pretty fucking easy. So this is what this reading is clearly about, but there's something here that you can take from it, and it's going to create something for you, is what this is going to do, this reading. That's what this is definitely about. Memories, history, fun things when you were a child. And I've been telling you, like I said, I've been telling you guys to do it. I didn't think I would have to, go through my childhood for you, but clearly something is clicking here for you guys. Because this is beautiful stuff that I forgot. But again, like if my mother loves it and I love it, it's mine. Like I claim things. My dad dies, I know what guitar I want. I don't even play guitar, but I know he treasured it, so it will go on my wall. I'm that person. People can look at too many plants in my room, too many fucking rocks in my room. Like, no, this is my happy. I talk to my plants, I water my plants, I nurture my plants. It doesn't look like clutter to me. Do I need more room for my plants? Absolutely. But I have them arranged so it makes me feel like I'm not overwhelmed by looking at it. And I try to do that appeal for everybody so they don't feel like super overwhelmed. But like, how can you be super overwhelmed? Walk into a room of like 40 different plants that are just beautiful. Stop and smell the fucking roses. I remember loving the carousel when I was a kid, but I had to have the horse that went up and down. I see dreams coming true, but like you would never even know that this was a dream of yours. And I truly think like with this whole chat and with something clicking, it's going to give you ideas. It's going to make you want to remember. And I didn't have to try to remember any of that. It just came out. Like I completely forgot my candy store. And that was, I treasured that fucking candy store in my closet. But as a kid, I could never have the closet door shut. But there's certain closets where I feel the energy and I gotta shut the door. And somebody I used to date used to leave his closet door open. And I'm like, I shut it every night. He's like, why do you do that? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not vibing with your closet. You know? And mega rosary beads everywhere. My windows were locked. At one point, I had my bed against the closet. But that was a different place. That was actually here. But the view I had from the house on Tower Hill, we were on the hill. We were on the top of the hill. So we had a beautiful view. It's a beautiful house, but Lawrence was just turning into shit. Tower Hill still kind of survived. It's not shitty. That's one place in Lawrence that kind of stood there, but they wanted to move more like New Hampshire, Vermont, things like that. They just wanted to get out of Mass. But still stay close. And again, I treasure this backyard, you know. I just wish it was a little bigger. I wish it was a baller. I wish I was a baller. What song is that? I wish it was a baller. Something taller lyrics. I wish I was a baller. Okay. Skew. I don't recognize this name, so I don't think that's it. Does anybody know who's saying that? I wish it was a baller lyrics within a song. Is it Skilu? I don't know. Gotta turn it down. Or is it just I wish Skilu? I don't think this is it. It did just say something about property. Even in my dreams, I missed it. Boyfriend tall. So where am I going to complete? I'm always last to be picked. I sit against the wall, sit at the bleachers, watch the game. Why the jocks fly with girls. But I'm a hood rat. I've been in a hospital for talking in a city, for living in the city. I admit I'm ashamed. Glad I came to my senses real quick. I got sick. Overcome my thoughts. Wow, he must be singing this quick. It's not who I think it is, though. It's not the song I'm thinking of. Oh, it is that song. I wish it was a little slower. It's real fucking fast. So it's Skilo, I wish. I feel like there's definitely something in the song. Like we just moved to Lawrence, to New Hampshire, like everything I've been talking about. I just said getting 10 people together to play basketball because it's good for my mental health. It was just an example. But it benefits other people. So this is something that will benefit other people, guys. This is definitely like if you feel like you have a calling to help humanity, you play a part, this is your reading. If you're just here to see the energy in the reading and, this might come towards you because it's like an awakening or a download for you, then it can start from there. But this is like feeling, and I said that in the beginning of the reading, and now it's kind of the same message. I know I'm here to help humanity. I just know I am. But like there needs to be more. Like I saved hundreds of appreciation emails that are just beautiful and how I changed people's lives and got them through the hardest times. And it's like, really? I can't believe I have that ability. Like, oh, here we go with the like. So again, there's something here you can start again or work on, or something's going to click. And it is something from childhood. And I said that in the other read to you guys. Like it's the inner child, but not looking at it as traumatic. Bring back the happy memories. Draw it in your head. Imagine it. Put yourself there. And others, like I just talked about Vermont, it's kind of telling me, all right, go back to Vermont. And again, I just absolutely love historical land sites. I thrive on them. When people look for property, I'm like, first thing I'm all about is the land, the history. How old is it? You know, did war heroes walk through this land? Like that's stuff that I appreciate and I want to treasure. You can walk through woods and you would never even think like it's not even marked as historical, but you know, people that were fighting in the wars, like here we go again. But there's hundreds of people, you know, 20 feet, 50 feet under you, bones. There was a place in Maine that overflooded, and when it floods, it's almost every year. Bones always come up, but they don't have anything written down in history. But it's a lot of fucking bones, guys. And something about land came through the other day, too. And I think I said something here regarding land. I can't remember. But for me, being on the right property is also key to my happiness. And if I truly feel I am who I am towards humanity and I got to get to what I need to get to for humanity. And like I said, the app comes, you know, soon enough. That's huge if it takes off. The card's going to be huge if it takes off. It's not about the money. It's not about the subscribers. From the bottom of my heart, I feel like it's a job. And the fact that I figured out Dala's method and nobody else has is confirmation for me. So this is definitely a reading for those who feel like they're here to help humanity, not serve humanity, help humanity. Let's take away the serve, because we all have a choice. And if you don't tweak little words yourself, you're not going to get to where you need to be. And that's the truth. And that's, I almost said political, but that's another key point of society, a societal viewpoint. And how many cards does it say, you know, you're here to serve humanity? Like, we're not here to serve. We are here to help. And we could be here to help, and we're serving like maybe the council without knowing it. But to say we're here to serve humanity feels like, it just feels like robotic or pressure, or we're imprisoned, you know. So again, a lot of people don't think like me, and a lot of you guys might think like me, because that's another reason why I started fucking YouTube. And I said like how many times in that first video that I didn't even notice, and then I just did it again in this video. That means something needs to be started. And again, I truly feel like this reading is for those who need to heal certain things too, but this feels more for people that really feel deep down that they're here to help humanity, here to rescue animals, here to nurture certain things, like it can be, again with this, like it can be anything. And again, ever since, I almost said Kai again, I almost said Petrie too, ever since Peanut Butter, the Three Little Starlings, came into my life, and my dad yesterday, the other day when we rescued the snappers, he's like, this place is turning into a fucking rescue rehabilitation fucking center. And that's all he said. And I'm like, oh, but these animals come to me. And I truly, truly feel that they heal me. They relax me like my plants. And I heal you guys. I try to heal humanity. So animals give me that comfort, that love, that healing. Because I exchange mine to you guys. And that's a lot of exchange. And I said earlier, like, people would never believe me. It's like running a fucking marathon. That's how much energy it takes out of you. But Mia said there was a guy with this huge backpack on within the last week when we were going to get Kaden and walking up a hill. And she's like, what the fuck? And I said, no, that's smart. I guarantee this person is getting ready for a trip that involves a very long hike. People might hike Mount Everest, shit like that. So she's like, wow, I never thought about it. I'm like, but that's what they're doing. They're training, because you never want to take a hike with a heavy backpack, things like that, unless you're already experienced. So he's doing it smart. He's probably been doing it. I would say he probably needs to do it for about a month. And he was choosing to go uphill. That's because he's training for something. And whatever he's doing is going to be a massive hike. Maybe it's his dream to climb Mount Everest. See, there's a dream here. You got to go for something. I could tell he was preparing, though, because he was choosing the bigger hills. So he's definitely preparing for a hike. He wasn't training like his own body, like gym work. Like, he was definitely preparing for a hike. That backpack was amazing. Must have been hundreds of dollars. It was like probably even military fucking approved. It was top notch. The amount of pockets and zippers, and I'm talking huge backpack, guys. Like the size of like all the rocks to the end of the table. And there was so much stuff in it. So it was his mindset. He was preparing. And for others that, they feel like they don't know what they feel, something here might just click. It could be an awakening for new people. I feel like there's definitely a couple new people watching. But like I said, it went from 32, it's back down to 26. There's typically, like, you see about like 50, I see about just under 2. 70% of my people are not subscribed. It's so crazy. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about the other day. When you go on YouTube now, you can choose like members, subscribers only. And I was like, wow, subscribers only? Well, more than half of my subscribers are not subscribed. And I just think that's crazy. I don't know what that's about, but to have almost 80% of your people that watch you, and again, you only see maybe like 500 or 600 people watch a video when I see statistics when I'm going through things. But my end, there's hundreds and hundreds, probably like actually thousands, just under 2,000. So I feel like there's a reason for that, and I don't know why. I always thought that was strange about my channel. But I'm not going to take away and just do subscribers only. Like, people have a right to keep their, privacy or whatever the case may be, guys. I have no idea. It could be a religious thing. Not supposed to be watching tarot, so maybe their husbands go through their phone. Like, there's still things like that. There's still cultural things out there like that. I do find it strange. I always have. And then me figuring out people from above are watching. I was like, holy shit, I never thought about that. We're actually preparing people to come down here. You might not remember that, but you are kind of getting prepared. And again, I learned, like, if you turn around and go against the light, you're going to go back home. And to me, that's a hard decision to make. As much as I want to go home, I don't think my kids would choose that. I don't think my mother would choose that. So eventually, do we get to reunite with them? Because when I heard that, it really makes so much fucking sense. And you always hear everybody go to the light, but there's stories out there that say, not just the experts you turn around are being told. There's people who have actually, that have that flash. Oh, I saw Jesus, I saw Mary, things like that. There is people that talk about if you turn around, but you won't find it unless you strategically look for it with different words on YouTube, because the government doesn't want us to see that shit. That's why they feel like they had to involve themselves with the spiritual industry, because they know that industry can overpower them. And right now, if you ask me, they got a majority of the vote already. And that's what we need to fix. Like I said, people have the ability to draw symbols, sigils, or beautifully draw. And if they put an intention behind it, it can capture millions of people. That's why we have, Museum of History, Museum of Arts, things like that, because it's fascinating. But that one little thing could wake up hundreds of thousands of fucking people as it gets circulated. Like, everyone wants a piece of something. Like with the whole Nazi, I'm hearing Nazi era. That's strange to hear it like that. Or people, people are giving back lost items. You always see the wall of suitcases. Why are we not giving those suitcases back to the families that we can now track? But instead of, because I've heard stories like that, they want their suitcase back. They can't have it back. It's in a museum now. It doesn't belong to them. It's so fucked up. And when people find paintings and then they buy them, some of them will come across stuff and look for people and give it back. And that just means the world to them, especially before they die, So it's just fucked up shit like that, guys. It is property that doesn't even belong to them, but yet they keep it in a museum to remind everybody of the fucking torture that can happen to you. People don't think about shit like that. That shit can happen to us in a heartbeat, and you guys don't think it's possible. Oh, it's fucking possible. And the only way out of that is when we overpower them. If we were in a concentration camp and we all got together and tortured them and made our way out, that would be the only way. But before they got there, they already beat the shit out of fucking people, shot other family members in front of every family member, and separated fucking kids. Like, they mentally fucked with you, so they had control while you were also in the camp. Because there was more people in that camp, and they could have actually took over all the guards. But they were very strategic about it. They fucked with your mind first. And you think a lot of people would make them angry, but it probably sent them into depression. They're not eating, they're not getting the water, tortured. And now all the stuff that belonged to them, it's definitely dying off, but there's still plenty of people. Give them their fucking shit back. Why are we hanging it in a museum to remember fucking torture? The fuck? I hope something really clicked with this video. I feel like I should label it some type of clickbait. But in the sense of what it actually means, instead of the reads that you go to, oh, here comes your life partner, and then, oh, well, your life partner's not ready. Like, the fuck? So many readers do that. I've never been the one to pull people in like that. I think it's just awful. To me, it's just rotten. So start thinking about your memories, the good memories, because those are a lot of things I forgot. Like, I didn't forget about like Battery Park and stuff, but for a split second, that was the first time I remembered a past life, and I could have been fucking 7, 8 years old, guys. That's pretty fucking early to remember something like that. So again, like, I've always kind of been awakened to that type of stuff. It didn't scare me. I fell in love with it. So go fall in love again with something that made you happy when you were a kid. All it takes is you even writing down all your memories. Write down 10 memories. You think you might not have them, but then things going to start coming to your head, because I clearly had to sit here and talk about memories for something to click. And it even kind of clicked for me. Like, there's stuff that I forget. And that shit put a smile on my face. I fell in love with that stuff. It didn't scare me away. You gotta remember your innocence here. Your inner child. I fucking hate how people, want to bring the trauma out. And it's not how you go about it. It's just not. You gotta let that person go and light a new match, guys. For those who feel like they gotta let a lot of shit go. But to me, this is a lot of positivity here. You like flowers, go buy them. Sometimes I feel like I don't want to get the flowers, because flowers are actually meant to be admired but not picked, But again, they do bring me happiness. But it does suck that they just end up dying. But they do make people happy. But it's temporary. When they could have lived a lot fucking longer and did their job in nature. And I'm sorry if that message hurts you, but I love flowers just as much as anybody. But in all reality, like, I would seriously put my bed and dresser and a little coffee in a fridge in a greenhouse and live my best life. I couldn't ask for anything more. To me, it's enchanting. There's nothing about 40-something, 50-something plants in my room. I know that sounds crazy to people, but I arrange them like you would flowers. I feel like I wouldn't be good at arranging flowers, but sometimes I'm like, wow, I just put that piece together very well. But I do that with my plants. so I can enjoy them. If they were all cluttered and in the wrong spots and one's covering this plant, it's overwhelming, you know? So and I can see myself just having greenhouses year round and, you know, just plants are my happy. So, like I said, there's a lot going on with me, even with health. And I talked about our members. I got to bring it to YouTube, and I will soon. But I even put my favorite tapestry above my head. Why? Makes me happy. Because I know I'm about to go through a lot of shit mentally. A lot. And I do worry about my mom. She has a doctor's appointment today, so I kind of dread the news that's coming in. Her cough is getting worse. It's back to how it was. It's inevitable. It's, you know, it's hard to hear when you're out of options, and I feel like those type of messages came into the reads lately. I don't even want to think about that, and then I got to accept other things that I'm diagnosed with and how this is going after 9 months. It's a lot. But we can't be the victim, guys. It is what it is with whatever's going on in your life currently. And I think this is why this is such an important message, because this is going to help you as September gets busier, because we're now working with 4D energy, and it's making you, it's putting everyone in a position to see something differently, but it's your choice on whether or not how you want to make your decision and what you pursue. And I do see past life here now that I didn't see earlier. But they managed to take something very unrealistic and make it look beautiful, and they made it look beautiful, because you're not going to find swans floating around icebergs. The beauty of it all. They really want you to recapture yourself. And it might take some time, because currently there's a lot going on with everybody. So I do feel like there's going to be September, October. There's going to be like not the greatest news coming through with stuff. I'm telling you, I already feel it. It's like having that cycle of COVID coming around again, and nobody knew what it was, and it's scary. And, you know, at the beginning, I feel like it's the beginning of something again, but it does come with something that tries to take you down, and we have to fight the energy. And this is going to happen to everybody, guys. It's just going to be, it's meant to be a little depressive, and it truly does fucking suck. I am seeing, it begins with a D, no, catastrophes. I am seeing that stuff roll around again, and just personal stuff. Like, I hate to say it, like a friend dying, a family member dying, like it's definitely something. Again, cautious when you drive, because this is affecting humanity. Then Neptune, imagination is key. It's a source. It is the source. My right ear is ringing, and my left ear just went deaf. But I truly, firmly believe that your happiness, what you create is your happiness. And everybody, you know, knows that, but like your real happiness, like how you really want to see yourself living. Or I was going to say something really important, and I forget it. They clearly don't want me to hear it. They don't want me to speak it. I know for a fact they just blocked that. And it does have to do with my other channel. Again, I'm not keeping it from you guys. I may see like, oh, you have this idea that can change everything. It's not ready. It's one of those things where I thought I was holding myself back. But that's just a channel that's just going to lift off, and it has to be prepared. I really thought it was going to be meant for chatting, having conversations, but it's not. Not yet, at least. Maybe that's why the health channel is coming into play. So Spirit switches shit up on me all the time, but a lot of people say I don't follow through. That's not true. This is a prime example of your abilities that you have. That's what they're showing you. And it took me a long time to figure out that's what they were showing me. It's look how capable you are of doing multiple things. So why are you not? It's like when somebody sees a bird, oh, somebody's going to die. How about you look at it, like I said the other day, this is a messenger telling you, I got this person. Don't you worry. But then that's the scary part too, because people don't know to turn around. And I didn't even tell my mother about it, because I'm like, she already knows she's dying. I'm not going to tell her to turn around. Go hug your father, go hug your brother. Makes me sad, but it makes me happy too. But I also know that you come back and it's just a cycle. You got to turn around in order to go home, to go to your original planet. So you can come back healthy and help the world. They do not want the earth to end. We are the closest planet. They depend on our energy. And they are determined. So there's going to be a lot of light workers, dark. There's going to be a lot of things coming towards us, but for people to definitely see differently. It's like that whole thing, like people like, man, you really live in your own world, huh? Yeah, thank fucking God I do. Thank the fucking spirits that I do. Because I sure as fuck don't want to be in your world. We might have great sex, we have fun together, we laugh, we have a blast, but I'm not going to live with you in the Matrix. I'm not going to battle myself. It's okay to have different beliefs, but you got to be with the right partner that, is really like, if it helps you, that's what you believe in, they don't take it away. You don't want to be with somebody that says, oh, you believe in that shit? Think about it. But again, you guys together are just fucking fire. But it's karmic. But you look at it as a soulmate, because when you're together, you feel like you're home. Maybe just not in this lifetime, guys. Again, I don't want to tell my mother when she sees the light in family members to turn around. And I feel like it's my responsibility. If I'm going to turn around, I feel like it's my responsibility to tell my children to turn around when the time comes. You don't want to keep getting stuck in a cycle. That's reincarnation. You want to go home. This is just our family. It's like a 3D image. It's a projection. It's real to us. But our family is when we turn around. This is a projection that they're watching. That's why we're in the 4D now. People gotta start talking about it. It drives me fucking bananas. It's like, those who can really channel, why do they not know we're in the fucking 4D? Why are we still working with 3D energy, telling 3D fucking stories? So, it's definitely not, I start something and don't follow through. And again, it took me a while to fucking figure that out. Because I think of things, I do things, and I'm like, oh, that's my other channel. And how many times at surgery did they have me go from one scripture to like the world of ancient Egyptian and sigils and to sigil magic, and then what's the other magic they pulled me to? I can't remember, but it's the beauty of yourself, you know. But when my mom says you start something and don't finish, she's referring to what I was doing down here. But in all reality, it makes me sad because I realize I'm not physically capable of tackling things like that right now. I'm just not. And again, I'm still not completely tweaked everything, and we're going on 6 weeks now. So I used to be able to tackle all this shit and get it done in one day sometimes. So it's upsetting to me to realize what's going on with my own body and needing to accept things that I don't want to accept. But again, I still got a chance of recovery because I'm only like stage 1 and 2. When you get to 3 and 4, it's permanent. So there's a little hope there. And I think that's where, you know, before I get to 3 or 4, Spirit will pull me out because they definitely put me in a situation to experience this. And from the start, even with disability through my work, they stopped paying me in April. 3 months. As soon as they let me go from work, they stopped paying me. And yeah, I'm, you know, going through my savings, but that's okay. I truly, truly realize that this is happening for a reason because a lot of people, probably a majority of fucking humanity is experiencing something that I'm experiencing, or they know somebody that's experiencing what I'm experiencing. And 69% of people at stage 3 and 4 commit suicide. It's like one of the highest rating ones because to deal with pain like that and the loss of your life and not being able to regenerate certain things that you had hoped that you could, like it's awful. And I'm in pain every fucking day, every fucking spot. And I was diagnosed with CRPS. Chronic regional pain syndrome. But when you get to 3 and 4, like that's like your muscles are gone, your joints are gone, your tendons. You can't stretch anymore. You can't exercise. It's too painful. People become like statues. It sucks. It's not good. But it can be, you do have a chance to kind of cure yourself stage 1, stage 2. And they think I'm just stage 1, but I do have some symptoms of stage 2. I won't know until I go to a particular doctor that works with us. I've never even fucking heard of this doctor. But each one specializes in like neurological, the other one soft tissue, the other one, you know, just joints. But there's a lot more to all of that I will talk about with you guys. But now I think I have like Raynaud's disease, Raynaud's phenomenon, you know, because my hands, my fingertips, all of a sudden, you know, I like freezing it. One day I noticed it, I grabbed an apple. I was like, wow, my fridge is fucking cold. I put a paper towel around it and it didn't help. The next day I was making meatballs. My fingertips were blue. It felt like frostbite. And then yesterday I couldn't find my cup, so I grabbed a water bottle out of the fridge. And it was too cold for me to hold, and it took almost 6 hours for it to go away. But some people with the CRPS, 30% of it experience cold and the other half experiences warm. But CRPS also affects my joints. So is it Raynaud's? I don't know, you know. But it's just shit like that. I was trying to remember the name of the doctor. I want to know if any of you guys have ever heard of this doctor. I have to go on my chart. Which sucks. I know I just had Photoshop them. I know I have some. And I think I gotta see a knee specialist. It's like I already have arthritis in my knees. I didn't know I had it in my hip. Nobody bothered to tell me after the MRI. But it's linked to the post-traumatic blow. Complex regional pain syndrome type 1. It gets so bad it feels like you're in labor for some of you. Like, I don't ever want to get there. A lot of people do ketamine. I don't want to go there either. But I'm so sick of like just blocking my beta, having more gabapentin. Like, I get why they do it, because you can become very suicidal very fucking quick. What the fuck? It's like not letting me back into my fucking chart. What the fuck? So fucking weird. I don't even go in like that. Alright, I'm getting the fuck out of this. I'm going to an email. And with this disease, it's a disease. It's because when you have a blow like that and your nervous system is out of whack and they can't control it, it can take a couple years for it to, like, it's the nerve fibers around your main nerves. All right, here it is. PHYSIATRY. So I even sent the doctor a picture the other day, because I went to the wrist doctor and I sent it to my PCP because she noticed discoloration on my arm, and that happens with the CRPS. But I'm a little concerned because my palms are starting to turn blue and itchy, so it's all symptoms. But then it's like decoloration right there. Oh, that's in the crack of my phone. You're not going to see it. It's almost like the Vigalato. See it? That starts to happen to people usually stage 2 and 3. So, and again, like the fact that I just have like this, my palm just turns blue, that's like low circulation. Like that, you can't see how blue it really is, but it really is blue. Like it'll look like it's bruised and then it goes away. So, oh, yeah, Heather, here's the other thing. How many times have we been talking about fucking lupus, right? And everyone's like, oh, you don't have lupus, blah, blah, blah. I screenshotted something last night when I was looking into something, and I couldn't believe it. The primary Raynaud's, which is not what I have. I would have the second one, is the Raynaud's phenomenon associated with other problems like rheumatoid rheumatic disease, or lupus. Everything I keep fucking reading, guys, is linked to fucking lupus. And I've been talking to you guys about this for years now. And I'm like at the doctor's, like right when I get off of you, I'm going to do myself a reminder. I'm just going to ask my doctor, like, hey, I want to do a lupus test. Like, can you just satisfy my brain right now? But he kept saying no because my ANA was negative. But it's not just the ANA that determines it. There's actual physical test. It takes a couple days, you know. It gets sent to the Mayo Clinic. So the one, it might be something with Minnesota for you guys. I was born in Minnesota, but it could be something in regards to Minnesota or something in regards to the Mayo Clinic. But every fucking one of my symptoms, I keep finding lupus is attached to it. But he's convinced because my ANA is negative, there's no reason to test for lupus. I have the Epstein-Barr virus. And I kept thinking like my mono was coming back. But when I researched that, it's very slim that it would. It never leaves your body, but to reactivate it is very slim, but it could be attached like autoimmune or lupus. And they've been testing me for autoimmune for years, but never lupus. So I am going to send a message to him today because when I was looking that up, it was lupus. It's almost like I want to screenshot everything, but he's going to be like, that's not Mayo Clinic, Courtney. Did you just fucking shit again? Buddy, what the fuck? And it's a smudge. I'm over this. Totally over this. So I don't know whether I have it or not. I'm just saying, like, every single fucking thing, like, lupus is a trademark. Like, you would have lupus and then it becomes CRPS. Like, everything is linked. And it's all because when I got slammed from behind, that fucking asshole on his phone, going fucking 50, he jolted my entire fucking body to the point where it blocked. Every main fucking nerve is impinged. And because of that, it's now affecting everything else. All because of that one bam. That one slam just changed my life. And I really thought I just walked away from it. I was like, wow. You know? So my nerves, the neurons, all the, transmitters, how they talk to each other, they send the axons, all that. I know it all works. They all don't know how to communicate with each other right now. And again, I think Spirit put me in this situation, and I don't think they're ever going to let me go to 3 or 4. It's a given, because I'm here to serve humanity. So, but they want me to experience what I'm experiencing. I truly do feel in a couple years, I won't be 100%, but I'm hoping for 90%. Or at least 75%, you know. So, because I want to live my life, guys. This is taken away from my life. Like driving anything over 20 minutes, I can't drive anymore. It's affecting my life. I drive more than 20 minutes, my wrist hurts the most. Because if you think about it, you're holding the steering wheel like this. I don't hold up top. So when I try to hold up top, I feel like it made it worse. Because then I got to figure out how to drive that way. And then my hand's not used to that either. And then my ankles for the pedal, because my foot's up. And my knee, my hip, my back, everything gets activated. And it's upsetting. Like, that's the part that I need to accept that I don't want to accept. When the doctor said, I'm going to have to call it, Court. And I bawled. I was like, you can't tell me this. It's going to be a thing the rest of my life. And it is. But I can keep it under control if I don't get to stage 3. So something has to happen now. And nothing happens overnight. So it's going to take a little while to found the doctor. I just have to get an appointment. They gotta run through insurance. It just sucks. And I've had so many fucking MRIs. I just feel like metal should be fucking sticking to me as I walk by it. This hasn't been a fun ride, you know? And I absolutely know I can heal myself with certain tactics, but that absolutely put me in this situation to realize what people are going through and how people are feeling and how it affects your body. Because then I'll be knowledgeable, especially when it comes to the app. And I'll know what to target even more. So I'm grateful for that too, but what people don't understand with readers and true readers that put energy into it, we experience heartbreaking things in many different ways that one human doesn't usually necessarily experience, and then a lot of the population does, but we don't know how to get out of it, you know? So I don't even think like miracles. Yeah, miracles are real. I don't think I'm going to get to that point. I think spirit will shut it down. I'm praying that that's how it's going to go down. Because I'm even experiencing neurological things that are a little scary. And again, I know it's part of the energy, but I also know spirit has control over some things right now. But I still want to go to the doctors and figure it out. Like for weeks, I can't remember like the lyrics or how to sing like the rhythm. My tongue doesn't want to say certain words. I tried to say Texas toast the other day, and I don't know what I said differently. Texum. You know me, I always put other words together anyway. But toast doesn't have an M in it. And I said it like 3 times, and I'm like, Texas? You know, can't remember the date. I'm dizzy when I stand up. I always I walk into like my fridge, and there's plenty of room, so my balance is off. Headaches aren't getting any better. So I know something neurologically is happening. And I am really depending on spirit here to shut it down before stage 3 and 4. I definitely think I'm in between, because stage 2 is when skin discoloration. Remember I said to you guys a few weeks back, I'm like, I feel like my feet turned white, but it's my tan going away. It's not. All the rest of my tan is there. I'm barefoot all the time. And this disease attacks the hands, arms, shoulders, feet, toes, legs, knees, and brain. It's a spinal cord. So, and they already told me I had a spinal cord injury, but it just wasn't bad enough to have surgery. But because none of this was working and nobody picked up on other little stuff, physical therapy made things worse. And you can actually, when I was reading too, you could sue the doctors for not picking up on it sooner. There's so many suits out there in hospitals. I would never do that. I love my doctors. I just think errors happen, and he's right. Like, he's just following. My back hurts. Well, yeah, you got all these discs. It makes sense. You got to focus on your back, you know? So what they focused on, you know, was the wrong thing. But in all reality, they wouldn't have found that unless they did an MRI of the hip anyway, and unless somebody started playing with my hip and poking around, I never would have known. She's the one. But my hips had hurt from the beginning, but where she poked triggered it. And if it wasn't for her triggering it, I wouldn't even have. My hips would have kept hurting. I could have kept. I'd just be doing more damage. And the orthopedic, like I said, is like, I guarantee your other side is torn too. It's from the seatbelt, the impact. So, and it's like, I don't know why they didn't X-ray. I mean, MRI both at the same fucking time would have been nice. And that one's always hurt too, but the right one hurts more. Anywho, so I'm not one to focus on the pain. I'm not one to complain about it. I'm just telling you the things I've experienced, and it's literally taking away from my daily life. And I truly feel, once again, like the whole car accident meant to happen. Everything I'm feeling and experiencing meant to happen, but it's meant for me to also find my way back and help other people through my method of finding my way back. That shit's real. It's exhausting. It's overwhelming. It's depressive. You know, I knew it was going to take a little time to heal, but I'm looking at a fucking couple of years, guys. And I can't just up and start stretching. I have to know what I have first before I can do any of that. I could pull a ligament in a heartbeat with things that are going on and not even realizing it. Under my right knee, at the very corner of the bottom of the knee, twice now I've stretched it. And I just didn't even stretch it. It's almost like I twisted or I turned my foot. Sharp fucking ache and pain that lasts for like a minute. And it feels like I tore something. And that's my knee that I can barely walk up the stairs with. With knee braces on, it feels a lot better. So, again, I'm truly convincing myself here that spirit's gonna, stop it when it needs to be stopped. I need to feel what I need to feel because I need to find my way out of this to help you guys. And then I have the other way to get out of something mentally, but this is connected that I didn't put together the first time around. Because I know I can wake people up through my method. And it's pretty fucking simple. But sharing stories and talking about mindset, it's all linked, but you don't just want to rewire your brain and not know why you're rewiring your brain. You could be like, all right, sick of this, I'm going to rewire my brain. Sick of what? Write down 5 things. Why do you want to rewire your brain? You're going to rewire your brain a lot quicker. Okay, let's just do hypnotherapy. No. They're going to convince you why you should do it. And I think in the world right now, there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of things from the COVID shots. There's a lot of things out there that is causing one thing after another. And like I said, if you don't have that healthy immune system, your body's going to fail. And that's what mine's been doing. For 2 years, ever since my surgery, my immune system's been down. They should have gave me blood and they didn't. It was iffy. And they knew I didn't want it, so it was iffy. So she basically did what I said. I only told her if it was absolutely necessary. But because it was so borderline, it's fucked with my immune system this whole entire time. And ever since I've walked into the hospital working there, my immune system's been fucking shot. I knew if I have to work at one location, I'm getting sick. And it happens every time. And people want to say, it's in your head, you're making it happen. And it really, physical things happen. But my brain is strong enough. I just know my body is, what the hospital is that good. If I'm on a certain floor, I work at a certain location, like I said. And when I worked there, it was always a fucking symptom there. That's where I got my mono. I would just get a cold. That place is haunted too. But there's just not good vibes there, and I worked there a lot to cover somebody while they were on vacation. And those are the rides where I would channel for you guys when I worked at that location, getting there at like 5:30 in the morning, going live for like 20 minutes, that location. But people are great to work with. But my body can't handle it there. And I've said that to somebody else, and like it must sound weird. And they're like, oh my God, the same thing happens to me. I don't know. The building is just fucking dirty. I don't know what it is. It's gross. And you gotta walk by urgent care to get to the lab, which is so fucked up. Because now we're walking by all these fucking sick people. They're touching buttons. They're touching the buttons we touch. Like, it's inevitable, It's like, who wants to sit in an ER room? I don't even know why that came into play. Your senses might be on point. Something doesn't feel right. Stop working there. Like, something is unhealthy. Like a good omen, bad omen. Like, with the cards under the table where I was seeing them, toxic. You wouldn't think, but statistic wise, doctors switch jobs. Most doctors, a lot more than 70% of doctors switch jobs, hospitals, every 10 years. And it's because of the chemicals. And some is 5 years. The people that really love the hospital and the staff, they're the ones that probably stay and deal. But statistically speaking, and it goes for nurses, everything, but it's usually the doctors. They just say, oh, they want to change a location or, a different side of this. And what it is the chemicals. They've already linked it. Why you have all those, workers and nurses working their ass off. That's why they lost, really caring for patients. They don't care for patients anymore. Just a shit show. Anywho, that's going to be hard to change. I don't know why that came in. I think this is location. Like something is just not good for you. You got to figure out what that is. In the meantime, maybe sage your house. But let's just bring this back to... This is reminding me of yesterday's read. In the beginning, it was depression, suicide, and then it was to be continued, like I'm back. And this kind of turned into it too, but it brought out more of a lot of other stuff. But mental health, healthcare in general, like we all know what it's like, so I don't really want to get into that. This is about getting in tune with your inner child, because it's going to have you escape from that anyway, so this is like taking an easier route of escaping, but it's still helping because this is bringing good memories. This feels like you're going to create something with this. And I mean, look at all the memories once again that came up that I kind of forgot about, but they were so important. Like, how did I forget at that age I saw a past life? So that's what this reading is for. Those who really, truly feel. Now we're down to 24. I'm telling you, a lot of people just don't want to accept this shit, guys. I'm keeping a close eye on it. I know what it's saying. I feel like it's supposed to be boring for some people, and then others, it's like, it's a different reason. They're not getting the answers. It's not what they're looking for. But for those who follow this through, this one out is going to be completely useful. It feels like downloads, upgrades, but it's not. It's like it's different. So I don't know if it's just like a different way of downloading, a different way of projecting, a different way of, transmitting the energy. Because again, I've been saying for days, it seems like humble and calm, even though there's like so much that's about to go down. With humanity, we're going to notice it with humanity. Wasn't it like 2 years ago? It was September, October. There was so much death. So much death. I remember talking about it. Because my mom got diagnosed in August. And I was just about to start Dollar's Method. And then she got diagnosed with stage 4. And this October would be 2 years. And most people, they don't, she's lucky she made it 2 years. That's usually the most that somebody will make it through. And I still sense, I hate to even say it out loud, but I still sense like January 2025 is, I don't even want to think about it, but I kind of already know. But I feel like there's going to be a surge of it, guys. Like, and it just sucks. So that's why you have to get going with something now. Good times and bad times, I'll be by your side forevermore. And I still get the vibe of somebody important coming into your life too to kind of help you emotionally. I'm not going to lie, I truly feel like the next few months are going to be very heavy, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. But there's also creation and good vibes. So we really have to look at life differently. Just start with the fun things as a child. Because I forgot about my candy shop. It was the best. But then that house brings things. I never saw the lady on the basket. But I always did see the lady at the top of the peak of the house falling. It's like a deja vu thing for me. And my sister experienced something else. And I never shared that with. I'm sure I did like here and there, but not like, oh my God, the girl on the count, there's an old lady that used to literally sit on a hamper. And they were going through photos, and one time it all clicked for them. And I know I just told this story, but I left a part out, and it all clicked. And the older woman, like the older aunt, was like, oh, like I saw her too. And then with the photo books, it was a different time. They were going through old photo books. It's a side of the family that we weren't really connected to. Like my dad was, all his cousins and stuff. It was his papa, it was his grandpa. And we're going through old books for some reason. And Kim, my sister, found the lady. She's like, this is the fucking lady that sits on the hamper. Like she was crying. Like she's like, this is it. And then nobody knew much about her. But she was like a great grand aunt or something like that. House has been in the family for a very long time. I think my dad was the first one not to sell it to family. I don't think anything was mad. I don't know. I'm not positive. But I feel like I think I would have known, you know. Like my dad has a hat outside. It was my Uncle Jimmy's, but he wears it when he snow blows. And I'm like, it should be on the wall. Again, like that's me. I have attachments to objects, you know, but when he goes, I want that hat. I want his Navy bag. I want a guitar. But that's me. So these are good memories, guys. Focus on the good memories. A lot of people are experiencing things traumatic, but you go to counselors, you do this, but I'm telling you, you're going to find your own way out. I'm going to try my best to help. Well, I got put in a position. I don't feel like I really have a choice. Well, I do have a choice though, but I feel like, I don't know. Not like excited about it, but it feels necessary and I know it will help. Like dollars I'm excited about. So, the good things, guys. Especially if anyone's like, we gotta find that, we gotta dig and find the trauma. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit, guys. Fucking out of your mind. It's making it worse. You don't have to block it, but like, that's not how you heal. It's just not. It's so fucking ass backwards. That's why when they mentioned a counselor to me, I was like, no. And the only reason why I said yeah is because so many fucking doctors, I put my hands up. I'm like, fucking fine. And then when I was talking to her yesterday, I filled her in with a lot of shit. And it felt good to kind of get it off my chest. But I told her a lot about me. Sheldon came into the picture. Peanut butter came into the picture. You know, things like that. So, and then I'm like, wow, I'm glad I kept my appointment. But it's got to be the right person, you know? And I won't, it seems like we mesh, but I won't. Like, I like the way she tries to heal. Like, she knows healing, you can heal yourself. That's positive. But I already am aware of that too. But she can also, you know, point out little things I might not be aware of. We'll see how it goes. But a majority of them will try to find the trauma. And Because, I mean, it's just me and spirit's telling you, like, that's not the way you heal. And it's sad because that's how they teach us to heal. But that's also the government, guys. Just like teachers, psychiatrists, all those, they have rules too. It's a lot of people don't realize, like, a lot of those jobs are government jobs too. And certain teachers, they can't mention their beliefs. Only ones that can get away with that would be college. A philosopher, things like that. Like, legally, they still have rules, but they have a lot more leeway. They can still teach. They can tell people, the students, about their belief, but they also have to teach by text. Like I said, there's still little things linked to it. So, gotta pay attention. I love you guys so much. We'll see you later. Love you, love you.